Rain, talk to me. We're gonna hit a beat and talk about my Eve. Everybody, you know what I say.
God.
I'm gonna do a beat.
Make it
Why?
stop.
Rain?
It's
Why?
time to stop.
Why did you?
Rock, paper, scissors, right? We don't want Eve to be as simple as shut the fuck up, Seto!
Floods of like memes, and these small gangers are like, we're the elite of the elite. Do not fuck with us. We will kill you. We are the best players ever. It's like, dude, I did your shit. I did it better than you did.
You know what this conversation is like? When I say not enough supers die in Dell, and people tell me, oh, look, there's a super died in Dell. So it's like, when
What
I'm
are
talking
you
about
even
the balance
talking
issue,
about? We were talking about fucking balance, not supers
Yeah.
dying in Delph.
Look,
Why does
look.
everything with you have to be about supers fucking dying in
Shut
Delph?
up! Shut up!
Christ!
It's an analogy, moron. It's an analogy. Okay?
You guys stop arguing. You act like a fucking married couple. Jesus Christ.
No, don't stop arguing.
It's an
Well, it
analogy.
is Trash Talk
It's
Tuesday.
an
I was
analogy.
like,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Eve players, and normal people, welcome to Trash Talk Tuesday. My name is Redline13. I'm your host for the evening. I need to change some portraits because there's quite a few people that are listed there that are not there. But you know what? That's fine. We'll leave it there for now. And
Wait, where's Dawn's portrait? What the fuck?
whose?
Dawn.
Dawn? Oh, does Dawn
Yeah.
need a portrait?
Yeah.
All right, I'll get
Yes.
Dawn a portrait within the next 20
never get one.
seconds. I got you, Dawn. I got you. No
I'm pretty
worries.
sure you have one for me lying around as well. Like, what's going on here, Redline?
Yeah, but I was way too busy like trying to fix trying to broadcast a fight that I thought was gonna happen, and it really just turned into a couple people like throwing bricks at each other, and then they were like, "No, fuck this. Your bricks are too hard, or you have too many bricks, or something like that," and then they fucked off. Which is pretty much what happened just now. I got a portrait for Dirk. So let's introduce the gang. So gang, we're gonna go from the top to bottom. We're gonna start off with Bill. Say hey, Bill.
I don't know if y'all watched last night, but the Alabama Crimson Tide won the national championship. Your boy Devontae Smith, MVP, Heisman winner.
All you had to do is say hey.
Oh, hey guys.
Awesome. Thanks. Hey, Bill. Glad to have you on. We're also joined by Don Rea. We've got Dirk Statiel here as well, who I hear sounds like Dave Archer, apparently.
Good evening, Dave Lancer 13.
Wow, that's an ancient meme. We've also got we've also got Dominark here. Say hey now.
How's it going?
And Loki Choco Chips.
Yo.
And Rain.
Hello.
And of course, my name is Redline13. I probably already said that because I'm an egotistical, maniacal man. But
Can't confirm.
welcome to the show. I'm working on getting Dawn a portrait, and for the first time in forever, while I do that, Dirk has some special news to share with us. So, Dirk, take the floor, dude. It's all yours.
Yeah, so turns out it is tournament time in Eve again. We've got the Anger Games rebirth iteration coming up. It's the first time the Anger Games has taken place in like 4.5 years or something like that. I think the last time was 2016. Run by Sothersol, obviously of the Imperium, but with a bunch of other support, including from a number of members of alliances that can't count. Not looking at anybody there, Volta. And yeah, generally the whole idea is that it's a 7 versus 7 format. Teams can be made up of anyone from across Eve. You've got to have a unique team name, but Alliance, Loyalty doesn't matter in the Anger Games. You could pick 7 guys from 7 different alliances across nullsec and fly with an all-star team if you want. And it looks set already to have a bunch of interest. We're really hyped for getting this going. Signups will open on the 23rd of January at 1100 Eve time and close 2 weeks later. 2,000 plex to sign up. That goes into the prize pool. We're talking with CCP about prizes. It's going to take place on the Thunderdome tournament server. There's going to be it's just going to be a ton of fun. If you're interested, Rain's already linked our Discord server in the Twitch chat, and I will drop the Reddit post from Sothersil in there in Twitch chat as well once I drop my push to talk. And from there, you can find the rule set, all of the different details. Like I say, should be a ton of fun. And if you are listening and can't participate, but do want to help us out with refereeing and commentating matches and what have you, join Discord, reach out to us, and hope to see a lot of you either there or watching.
Amazing. Perfect. So tell me a little bit more about the Anger Games. Like you said that they were run 4 years ago. What caused the gap, the 4-year gap there?
There were a few different things. Primarily, it was a kind of collapse in the tournament kind of rapport that the community had with CCP for player run stuff. The last time we were being supported by CCP Logibro, who left CCP in 2017, and Thunderdome has just been in a bit of a weird state since then. A lot of tournaments have tried to be run and kind of run into problems since then. But given that the Alliance Open happened last November and was a massive success, that was such fun to take part in. We figured, perfect time to kick things back into gear, get the Anger Games back on, and bring a more kind of how to say this. The aim of the Anger Games is always to be a bit more new player focused. It takes place on the Thunderdome server specifically so that people can have all skills. They're not restricted to what they can do on Tranquility. So, like a Carries pilot on Tranquility who can't fly bigger than a destroyer could go ahead and have some great fun in a Marauder in the Anger Games without being penalized for that.
Oh, so it's like it doesn't take into account any of the skills that you have on Tranquility?
No,
Like,
no, not
like
at
the
all.
Alliance Open did?
That's one of the big changes from the Alliance Open. A couple of other big changes are obviously that it is a 7 versus 7 instead of the 10v10 that the Alliance Open ran. We've got some interesting ban rules for the finale, but otherwise bans happen very similarly to the Alliance Open. What else have we really got as a major difference from last one? No like unique rules. So there's no wild cards, there's no flagships. Basically you get what you can normally fly on Tranquility, in terms of readily available ships, apart from the Etana, which is there, and I should address this rule real quick. The Etana is allowed as a counter to having like 3 T2 logistics cruisers available like as standard in armor. So you've got the Guardian, the Zarmazad, and I'm sure Dawn can help me out with the Execra T2 hull. The Aneros. There we go. Sorry. There's a couple of differences, but by and large, it's an interesting, we hope it's an interesting twist on the tournament meta, and we hope it's good fun all around. We're really looking forward to having it on. I suppose that's one thing I didn't mention. when it's taking place. So it will be taking place the last weekend in April and the first 2 weekends in May across like a 4-hour period in the late UTZ, so like the 1900 through 2300 rough slot. And we'll have exact schedules coming up after we've done signups and we figure out where exactly teams are going to be playing and everything.
That sounds fun. Does anybody else have any other questions for Dirk, or am I the only one that wanted to ask him questions?
We already talked about this on Saturday, so it's just more promotion. Also, it's really the Angler games, but we'll let him keep thinking it's the Angler games.
So I know you said it was new player focused. Are you like going to forbid like veteran teams? Like I'm thinking, say like a Pandemic Legion versus a Pandemic Horde fleet. And I know you said that the teams aren't based on alliance, but like if Pandemic Legion wanted in and then Pandemic Horde wanted in, and you had to pick one, would you say like Pandemic Legion's out, or are you just taking first come first serve?
It's mostly going to be first come first served. Previously, the Anger Games had a policy of not allowing in like full AET teams, but we saw some interesting upsets with teams in the Alliance Open, and also like it's been long enough since the Alliance tournament that we're really rebuilding the tournament scene at the minute a little bit. So we're not having explicit bans for Pandemic Legion teams or a Goon Swarm team or an Initiative team. That's not really where we're going. The aim is that this can be a tournament that kind of newer players can get involved with their teams if they're interested, because obviously there's no skill restriction, there's no restriction on what you can fly based on what you can fly on TQ. There's a lot more room for people to grow into tournaments and that kind of aspect of competitive EVE, we hope.
I don't know if you said it or not. What is CCP? If you approach them, are they giving you any help at all?
Yeah, so we've spoken to CCP Aurora, who gave some absolutely fantastic help to the EVE NT team when it came to the Alliance Open. Obviously, there was talk about tournament skins and things regarding the Alliance Open that we hope we can use as prizes here as well. We are, continually communicating with CCP as things progress, and they're going to be integral in providing accounts to Thunderdome if nothing else. And we haven't specifically spoken to them about the prize pool yet, but we are hoping that they'll be they'll be willing to contribute in some way to that.
Did I may have missed this. Did you say this was going to be streamed anywhere at all?
Yeah, we're still talking with a couple of channels about streaming things. The EVNT the entire EVNT crew, shout out to them, have been super helpful. The Eve Toys website that some people may not be aware of, but was built for tournaments across the board in Eve. That was developed by GAT. They've basically said straight up, hey, we'll support you using that and using that to distribute accounts. Ithaca Hawk has already signed up as a commentator and he's going to help Volta count their ships. There's a bunch of people already helping out with refereeing and things. So, yeah, just generally, we've got a couple of options. We're just finalizing the setup. We're hoping to announce that soon as well. But really, we just want to emphasize, look, guys, if you're interested in tournament stuff, sign-ups open in a week and a bit, like 10 days. It's going to be 2,000 plex to join up. That goes into the prize pool. That'll get split across, and we're looking for it to be a ton of fun.
Are you guys looking for donations or sponsors for prize pool stuff, or?
We aren't actively looking for donations or sponsors, but if you guys want to donate, sponsor the tournament, we'll definitely shout you out. We'll figure out some way to make you be involved. And if you just want to like donate some skins or what have you, some like cool apparel, some plex to the prize pool, we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it.
You can make some ad slots. If you want
I'm
to design it inside the ad
I'm
slot.
I'm sure we'll be talking about ads later on. That kind
Yeah.
of follows on from Rain's. Where are we going to stream it? We need to figure out what's going on with all of that. But I'm sure there'll be room for some ad slots, and yeah, that's definitely a thing that's on our list. Just a little bit further down from publicizing that we're back after however many years.
We're
I'm
back
so excited.
after 74 years under deep ice, bringing
I
you. Sorry, I'll stop.
I was gonna say the Anger Games is the only sort of player ran tournament that I've flown in, and it's an absolute blast. I had so much fun in it the first time I flew. I'm
I
excited.
too had.
I'm
It sounded like it was well run and everybody had a good time.
Yeah, and either I plan on flying in this one, assuming I get on a team. Otherwise, I'll reach out to you, Dirk, to try and help in any way I can. I'm
Rain, we
excited.
should just do a Logi only team.
Yes,
Never
Never die.
yes, let's do it, Don.
We will never die.
And clarify for me just
I'm
one more
saying nothing
time.
about the rules, but you guys can go ahead and plan that, and yeah, like anybody's welcome to reach out and talk to us, and if you're wanting to contribute in any way, again, join up on the Anger Games Discord, reach out to any of the administrators. We'll figure something out for you. And Rain, obviously, you're welcome anytime. There is no rule that says that you cannot be on a team and also be on staff. So, like,
Referee and be on a team.
yeah, we won't ask you to like referee your own matches, and definitely, commentating your own matches might be difficult, but there's no rule that says you can't be on a team and be on staff. But I do know that Bay is looking to put together an EVNT team as well, Rain. So might be worth poking him.
Oh, awesome! I'm excited that you guys are doing this.
Should be a pretty good time, no?
And there will be fish.
Oh, we're so hyped to like have brought this back and be talking about this and still be talking about tournaments, even though the AT is dead. Long live the AT! Like it honestly, I cannot shout out CCP Aurora enough for really putting in so much legwork to make sure that tournaments can continue to exist in EVE Online at the minute. Yeah, massive props to CCP Aurora.
So can we have a Zarmazd only fleet?
No, because you're only allowed one Triglavian ship and a comp.
But they don't have a gun.
What about a Logi only fleet?
I think that's
the Logi only fleet. I don't think is necessarily restricted.
We
You
have to
can't.
do it.
No, there are rules specifically about remote repair modules and what they can be fit to, but there's nothing that says that you can't bring like 2 Execuras with guns and like I don't know a fucking Kirin with guns or
So-
drones or what have you. Like,
So I have a question. Let's say the other team has one frigate on their team and the Logi kill it, and then they can't break any of us. Do we win?
if they can't break any of you, then that's impressive. But yeah, if you have more points and you time it out, you win. That's the principle.
You guys would
This
have to.
sounds like a good plan.
You guys would
Let's
have to
do
like,
it, Don.
kill a frigate every time, and then just like,
Just one frigate.
and then just run out the clock.
Run and rep.
Interesting question in Twitch chat. An Aneros with guns and Logi drones does not count as Logi because Logi drones are allowed on any ships. The thing about it is that you can only fit remote repair modules to Logi cruisers, Logi frigates, and there are a set number of Logi frigates or Logi cruisers that you can fit these remote reps to. But otherwise, if you fit a logistics ship with guns and then have remote reps on another logistics cruiser, as long as it works with the points system, there's no rules against that necessarily.
So the Zarmaz can fit 200 plus DPS and guns on top of its rep and be cap stable with full flight and medium drones.
The thing there is that you forfeit your reps on any other logistics ship.
Why would it?
You read the rules, but there are specific restrictions around remote reps and logistics cruisers. And so, go ahead and read the rules. It's linked in the Reddit thread that I threw in Twitch chat, and I will throw it in Twitch chat again.
He's just trying to hold us down, man.
Trying to hold us down? What do you mean? Hold down the rules?
Could you imagine a full 7 Zarmaz can't die?
I'm sure they could.
Look, we wrote the rules. You play within the rules.
With only one of these Zarmaz repping me. More than once too, so it was not a fluke.
Like I say, we wrote the rules. The rules are set. The rules are tied in. There's not really any changing of the rules coming. We might clarify things, but the rules are as they are. The points for ships are as they are. If you can find out a way to bring a full Logi team and win, you're good. Have fun. I look forward to it.
Oh, look and see. I'm not a strategist or fitter or anything.
Clearly.
Listen,
sorry, that was rude.
I have grand ideas. But the positive, usually what happens is I'll talk with the people who are on the fitting team or whatever, and I will give out some crazy idea, but it'll spark something in their brain they've never thought of, and it usually ends up working out.
Nice. Well, as long as that's the case. Ooh, Mad Cows looks forward to another stacked Eve tourney where the creators win. How do you feel about those accusations, Dirk?
I mean, the creators win with a fun tournament that people are talking about and love. So, yeah, I'm good with the stacked tournament where we win because it means that everyone's had a good fucking time.
So no corruption then?
Hey, look, we learned from the minor blip that the Alliance Open had. There are specific outcomes for people cheating this time around. That does include having too many ships because you can't count. And we hope that's the only contingency that we've had to spell out for, but you're all Eve players, so we're not, holding to that.
Of course not.
So, what do we got tonight?
Well, there's quite a few topics to talk about tonight. We're gonna save some of the juicy bits for last, obviously, because that's what I wanna do. But I will tell you, for starters, we're gonna talk about some quantum core stuff. I was gonna have Blazing Bunny on the show tonight to talk about how he feels about quantum cores.
Did he bail on you last minute too?
Huh?
Did he bail on you last minute again?
He had some things to handle, so yes, he did, but that's okay. I don't mind too terribly.
He's done
But we can talk about the quantum cores. So does anybody know what happened today with quantum cores? And Blazing did make a Reddit rant. Yes, that is true.
Well, I can tell you.
Well, my understanding was that quantum cores functioned as they were intended and did not a vast amount beyond resulting in people losing their ships. So, if there's a change, that sounds interesting.
So there's not. The thing is that's kind of the point, is that there is no change to how these things work. Because you would think that after everybody is like, hey, this is pointless for 3 months, that there would be some kind of a change to where, sorry if I'm super quiet, I'll turn myself up. I was kind of loud last week. Anyways, you would think that there would be some kind of a change to how that would, work. But there wasn't. No change at all. Just none.
What do you mean no change?
Well, so the quantum cores, basically all they do is they make it so that you can't tether, you can't repair in the structure, and then you lose fitting service. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's what they said it was gonna do. Why
But
is it a surprise?
what's the goal though? What's the goal of the whole thing?
Passive
Well,
ISK sync is really
They're
what
more
they.
for
Yeah.
new structure. They hamper
It's
new structures more than they do existing ones. I think they were trying to be fair to people who had structures that didn't have the cores in. That's what it seems like to me, that they went, well, we're not going to completely screw you guys, but it's, we're going to affect you until you get one in there.
Yeah, moving forward though, it's completely passive ISK sync. So you just buy a 700 mil fucking thingamajigger to throw into an Athanor that costs like 1.2 bill or something, and call it a day.
And that's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a NIST thing for CCP. Like that's
Yeah.
literally they've been looking for good ones for 15 years, and they finally thought of something that
But
they
it's
could
not even a
try
sync
try to sneak
necessarily.
by us.
Yeah, I have to say this
Well,
isn't a
it is a
sync.
sync actually. Well, it is a sync
No, it's
because
a sync holder. Or sorry, an ISK holder. Because
well,
you can
you
turn
can.
it in for money for the exact same amount as you bought it for.
This is
So
true.
you can get the
Yes.
money right back.
Yeah, this
But
isn't any sync. This is a security deposit on your Athanor. I made this argument somewhere else like months ago when they first brought this in. This is a security deposit on your Athanor.
It's a
Like,
it's a
This is
retroactive
like
tax on
rent.
your structures.
It's like rent for millennials. Like, we get it.
no. It's specifically the security deposit because you pay it up front, and then as long as you
Then
haven't
you gotta
done
pay for
anything to it,
fuel.
you
Then
get it
some
back.
asshole can come along and just beat you up and steal it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eve players are
the
millennials
And
now.
sell it
the
back to
asshole
NPCs.
beating you up is a bit weird, but sure.
Well, you know, like other players shooting your structures. What I mean.
And then sell it back to the NPCs, and then they take their cut, right? So I guess to some extent it does stay within the Eve spectrum.
no,
It's
it
not
is
going.
destroyable, so there is a possible sync if the core is destroyed. Because you could blow up any old thing with it.
So really, the ISK sync is down to the loot fairy, is what you're saying, Dawn.
No, not loot. Well, on a
It is kind of loot
hauler,
fairy, yeah.
it always drops out of the structure. But if you pick it up in a hauler, we haven't tested it yet, but we're not sure if it always drops out of the hauler as well.
This just as CCP has made high sec one of the most dangerous places in Eve for haulers.
I'm not sure how you count that, given the numerous nerfs to ganking over the past 5 years, but sure.
Personally, I don't care, but no, these random eating common Triglavian things spawning and fucking killing your freighters randomly,
Yeah.
despite you having standings and shit.
That was great in perimeter.
It's a little fucking rough, dude. Yeah, I know that's just CCP. I know. But I'm just saying, like, so if freighters are less safe, right, and then this whole thing exists, then to some extent, I suppose there's a thing. I'm just trying to push my narrative, but you're right though. It is more of a security deposit than it is a nerf. It is like an immediate like retroactive taxation though, if you want to have the tethering and you want to have the repair and you want to have all those things in your structure, which you don't have to have, right?
This is actually an interesting question.
You don't
sorry,
have
Red.
to have it.
Like, yeah, what have they actually disabled with these cores? Tethering, repairing when you're in the structure, which you can do on tether anyway, and then like fitting your ship. Those are the three things that they've disabled, and they're awkward to like not have in a structure for sure. But like, what actually do we care about in terms of like random roach motels or wherever?
Yeah, but that's only on grandfathered in structures. The new ones have to have a core.
Well, I mean, they don't.
Yes. They don't
No,
online.
they don't.
If you don't know,
They don't need to online. What do they need online for? You can still dock in them. Sure, you can kill it, but you can kill any structure. If you just need a place to dock in temporarily, and you know your enemy can't form up and kill your shit, then you don't have to put a core in that thing. You can literally just leave it uncored, and it stays anchoring infinitely, and you don't have to put a core in it until it is attacked.
As somebody just said in Twitch chat, Drusus Nero, without a core, it is basically a docking rights mobile depot. There's your
Yep.
there's your thing. It's a mobile depot for your fucking fleet that they can dock in.
I think the bigger impact will be the repair services, right? Because you're in a fight or a half fight, you can somehow run out your docking timer, and now you dock, and you're like, hey, I'm going to repair all my modules and repair my armor. Oh shit, no, I can't, right? And you at least maybe remembered, oh, I can't tether. Can't repair there either. But I think that's the big change, is the dynamics of the fights, where people just dock up and then come back out, fully repaired, all modules repaired, everything, and then they go at it again. That's
And
going to be the last part.
somebody in talking in station mentioned, I can't remember who the fuck said this though, but
that one?
the capacitor is also going to be probably tied in, and it's tied in with the repair stuff. So you also come out with the not a full capacitor and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But I mean, at the end of the day, like if you have a Fortizarian system, like, or whatever, then that has all those things, and do you really need it? Probably not. At the same time, like, if you're not part of a large group, I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to have that thing fucking cored, because I don't know if you're gonna be jumping in and putting cores in like willy-nilly, like, at all times of the day. But
Nitrox wants to bring up a point that you can't dock if you're scrammed.
Which
You've
is a
never
decent
been able
point.
to
You've never-
dock if you can scram.
you've never been able to, yeah.
Even
I know, but that's positive tether.
even Titans and stuff.
Well, it turns them back into like the stations used to be, other than the repair service part. So that's why I think, for me, the repair service. Otherwise, if the repair service in the station was working, and they're swapping out modules, then they would just be like the stations of old, or the NPC stations are now today, right? No tether, you fly up to it. All the rules apply in terms of targeting people, and when you can and can't dock, your regression timers, all that stuff. It's all the same. And then you dock. You finally get in there, you're like, oh great, didn't die. Now what? You're in the exact same shape you were when you docked. You don't get the safety service of, well, I'll spend a few ISK and repair back up and get my cap back and swap a module out because that wasn't working or whatever, right?
I just
You
need
don't get
to
do
I
that.
just need to jump in for 1 second. So X Kenver in the chat, he says he came here for trash talk. Why aren't y'all arguing and shouting abuse? Be patient.
Fuck you, Redline. Does that
Be
make you feel
patient, because basically there's a bunch of there's a couple Imperium folks in here who are gonna stand their ground against a relentless assault that's coming in about 28 minutes. I'm counting it down. I'm just waiting patiently.
What about your
Who's
the count
joining?
attempt?
Just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
we
coming
already
for
know.
you. I've been practicing. I've been writing my lines. I hope you got Brisk on deck. I hope you got Bill on deck, because you're gonna need him. You're gonna need these guys.
Where
You're
did
gonna
Bill
need them.
go?
Did you? Okay.
I mean, we can have Brisk on deck whenever you want, Redline. Like,
shit was happening. Brisk or Bill ran off to go take care of it.
Nothing was happening. Anyways, so
Real Housewives was on. Yeah.
with these cores, right? Like, I don't really see the point of them. I mean, I get that it's an ISK sync, but why does it matter?
Also, wasn't one of the reasons kind of to draw down the numbers of fucking citadels out there? So you're not going to put
But
a
it
citadel up
doesn't,
if you have to put it because it's not worth it type deal. Isn't that kind of their logic? I believe they mentioned that at one time, that there's this.
yeah, but at the
I don't think
same
it's gonna work.
time, how much does a fucking ethanol cost after like this? I think somebody mentioned what 1.8, 1.9 bill
Yeah,
about
with
like
the
5 minutes ago. Like,
fitting and everything, it gets up there.
it's well, not for an ethanol, not for a Raitaru. You've got the solve changes for when you can drop them, but meh.
The core is more expensive than the structure on either.
Well,
on
not
one.
They have more than Ritaros, are they? I don't know what the price is. I'm
It's
not
one
sure.
of the two. I think it's the Raitaru is more expensive for the core than it is for the structure, because of how many people made.
So why would it encourage? Why would it motivate people to kill more structures? Like, so I get. So basically,
You
like,
can't fully go online without a core.
I get it, but what about the existing structures? Because the
It's-
whole, like,
Yeah.
one of the
Get
biggest
away from-
things that people have been complaining about for at least as long as I've been playing is Citadel spam, and the fact that there are hundreds, if not thousands of, well, probably thousands of structures that are unused, but just have a bunch of fuel in them and don't cost the owners anything to have. And they just make these safe spaces where people can just go and dock and get away from PvP and all this kind of stuff. And I thought that some of the changes that they were doing were coming to make a change to that, to make it so that maybe you couldn't do that anymore. That's the abandoned
I
structures I thought was a really neat change.
Vocal
Um,
whining crowd out there got, they were loud, and CCP decided not to hammer the existing ones. It happens a lot
I
where the
mean,
minority will, if they're loud enough, it'll seem like a majority agree with them.
There's that motivation of I want to take it away from you.
to be fair, no, the Redline's got a
You
point
can
here.
automatically go abandoned if you don't have a core.
whoa, say that again?
Redline's got a point here. Abandoned structures were a really neat thing to bring in, where like you aren't supplying fuel regularly, you're not paying fuel for your active service module of choice, be it a clone bay, be it an industry thing, be it whatever. Then your thing goes into like low power, and if it's in low power for a week, it goes abandoned, people can shoot it, whatever, it drops in a single timer. That was a really cool way to deal with passive structure spam. The issue, Redline, is that active structure spam, where people are willing to drop the lowest fuel consuming service module they can into an Astrahus that they've dropped as a forward staging point and then stash it with like 3 months worth of fuel. You can't deal with that in the same way as you deal with abandoned structures, because 3 months for a throwaway forward operating base, they're probably not expecting it to survive 3 months. But if it does, they've whoever's dropped it has probably done really well in whatever conflict they're pursuing. So the cores are designed as a thing where you can't bring these structures online without the core. You can't fit them to have guns now. You can't fit them to have defenses. And you can't activate service modules in any of these structures that you're dropping and not coring. All we have are the docking facilities and, the ability to, like, get away from whoever is pursuing us, potentially.
You're expected to put
That's the thing.
You're expected to put an investment into it if you want to put a new structure up, basically, is what they're trying to do.
Yeah. You want to do anything apart from dock with this structure that you've dropped, you have to put this ISK deposit into it. And if you can't keep the thing alive for long enough that you can take it down safely and recover your risk deposit, you lose that money, whatever that money is. Like, say you put up a Satio and you core it and you use it as a supercat production facility, and then somebody else comes along and destroys it. You haven't been able to get your 10 billion ISK core back out of that. You've lost 10 billion ISK on top of all of the shit that you lost in your Satio.
Not only lost,
but
you gave it to your enemy.
Yeah, you did, and your enemy has 10 billion ISK that they did not have because they've scooped it. But
it's not just like loot that you have to find a buyer for. Like there is a
So back to the CCP for the price.
But yeah, to talk about specifically CCP addressing structure spam, that was it. They wanted a way to prevent active structure spam, and the cores not allowing structures to online without a core is the way they've dealt with it. Now a structure without a core is whatever.
Yeah, this does not really address or solve the existing structures without cores. Right, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not. The teeth aren't sharp enough. What I say.
They like your accent, by the way, Derek.
Everyone likes it.
I mean, I think I'm the only Brit on this show, so repeat something we all know, but with a British accent, like it's some new idea. No, this isn't a new idea. Nobody here is claiming it's a new idea. That's actually quite funny.
So my question is: this quantum core update, is this part of those 2-week iterative changes that we're supposed to be getting, or is this
Yes, because
something
I ain't
different?
seen nothing else. I was asking that on Saturday, like, when the fuck are we gonna get something else to look forward to? Like, we're supposed to.
'Cause
When is Moon Goo coming back?
I
When am
think
I getting something
Yeah,
useful out of
it was
Core?
I think Forsaken Fortress was the last one, and that was in like August or May. I was looking at it earlier. I was looking at the dev blogs to see when it was. Let me just double check when that was. And I just don't know if they forgot about that or what.
Right. First up, dev blogs aren't going to help you with that. Patch
Yeah, they are.
notes are, because they're not publishing dev vlogs every 2 weeks about whatever Tiericide they've done.
Oh, I didn't know
Secondly,
Tiericide was a part of it.
yeah, like anything
Yeah,
that they
pretty
do
much.
on a 2-week cadence is part of their iterative program. That this is the thing that a lot of people haven't seemed to grasp as they've done over the last year, is like Team Talos's 2-week things at the start of at the end of 2019, start of 2020, they were fantastic. I loved them. But they kind of transitioned that to every 2 weeks we will give you an update. Be it
Oh, okay.
Tiericide, be it like some major like event thing, be it
Yeah, so I guess
quantum
this
cores
was
coming in.
I guess this
It's
patch
just
note
every
was
2 weeks now.
this patch note was that they fixed an issue that was causing some sites not to spawn correctly in Edencom redoubts. Pretty good iterative change there. Let me just keep looking through.
I feel like that translates us to how dead Poshman is and what is stupid. And I've said this since this came out, that Poshman was a dumb idea.
Poshman was a great idea, first
No,
off.
no.
No, it really was. It was a
It
fantastic
was a great idea.
It
I
was
love
just
content that locks out
just
99% of the game.
it doesn't lock out 99% of the game. It doesn't lock out anybody. Anybody can
How
get
many
in there.
people
You
know?
just have to do the thing to get in there. Like, and that's something that I've said from day one, as everybody's bitching about it. Like, oh, I can't get into Pochvan even though I didn't do anything to
But the people who
to
did do
earn the
stuff, half of them got
standings.
fucked in the ass about it.
I mean, the ones that cheated to get the standings, yes, they did
No,
get
they
fucked.
Oh, they
straight
got
in the
revoked.
ass.
Got
the
revoked.
Edencom people got fucked. They got a
Well,
T-shirt,
yeah.
literally.
Well, fuck the Edencom people. They fought against the Triglavians for 6 months to a
See,
year.
that's the thing.
Why do they get to go into the fancy Triglavian region?
There
Hello.
needs to be a overhaul of the standing system, because there are so many times where I talk to people and they say, "Yeah, when I started this game, I just did missions and I didn't know what I was doing," and they've bricked themselves out of a region. Like, if you have -8 with Galente, the amount of time it takes to fix that is insane. But the time to get down there does not take that long. And if you try to fix that, you only have a certain amount of options until you are basically playing seesaw with your standings.
Actually, you know what, Dawn? I think there is something that needs to be said to you here. Hi, I'm a nullsec player. I don't care about standings.
I do.
But also, like, you have a fair point. You know, you lock yourselves out without knowing about it. Not when the whole thing came to its climax, Triglavians pulled space into Pokven, but like Edencom got nothing. That's a fair point, and you know anybody fighting on Edencom's side got a bad shake of the stick there. I think what we're arguing about here is less, hey, you know, this is how different players see it, and more like, CCP, what the fuck?
You give 6.5 to Galante's
More
bad.
like, CCP.
You guys need to win wars, I guess. Win the war to reap the rewards. So now it is kind of bullshit that nobody knew what the rewards actually were gonna be while they were doing it. So that's kind of a thing. But
I mean, but still, like, how can you expect to not support a group, and then when something happens where that pulls that group into, how do I say it, that makes them have their own region, how could you expect to go there and hang out?
exactly.
I mean, I
Well,
guess
I'm
I
just
guess
saying
you
the
could.
people who didn't engage in the content at all throughout the entire year are in a better starting position than the people who were engaged in the content.
That's actually kind of by design. Like, hey, I didn't side with
I
the
didn't do shit.
Imperium or Pappy, and therefore, if I want to join the Imperium or Pappy, I am in a better starting position than an Imperium pilot joining Pappy, or vice versa. Like, that's
No.
pretty representative.
I just hate the whole thing. It's so stupid.
All right, so I get what the chat is saying. There was no way for Edencom to win, but there were ways for Edencom to win. You just had to stop the Triglavian systems from being taken. Eventually, yes, they would have won.
Yeah, fuck.
There were 81 total systems that were attacked, I believe, and they stopped the bulk of them from getting flipped.
Well, they only needed
How
to.
did they win 2 more? Like, I
Trigs
don't
only
see how
needed. Trigs only needed to win 27, right?
Yeah, and the moment they won 27 is when the event stopped.
Right, exactly. So I mean, if if the Edencom would have kept on fighting harder and harder, just done better
but
at fighting, then it would have never ended.
Funny enough, Zenduria, of all people, is the one who saw that there were systems so bugged out that you could not win certain sides no matter how hard you tried because they
Well, then
didn't
they
have
didn't
things
really
set correct.
matter, did they?
Well, that's the thing is like some of the things are already predetermined because he was in there. It's an Edencom out of victory. They only have Triglavian people running it, and Edencom still won.
Whoa, right. Were
Like
the systems, Dawn, were the systems bugged or were they predetermined? Because
I
a
have no
bug
idea.
is unintentional. A bug is the game kind of not doing what it's supposed to. If it's predetermined, then that's CCP pursuing their story arc, which they had designed. We all know they had a story arc for this.
The thing was, the CCP's
yeah.
storyline though, but like with their storyline though, they said, "Hey, players get to decide. It's all in the hands of the players. What will the players do?" When the reality was, it wasn't in the hands of the players. They were just kind of like not even like guiding it along,
There's a
right?
couple options that we'll take.
Sometimes, so I get it.
I wasn't paying enough attention to this thing while it was going on, but my assumption, which is probably wrong by the way, my assumption was that they had either alternate, they had one or the other, and the players got to do it, or they were just making shit up as they kind of went on, which might also be the case. But are you guys saying that literally the Triglavians were always going to win anyway, no matter what?
Well, it depends on your win condition. Like basically the event was programmed to once Triglavians hit the 27 systems that were needed, it would go into its final phase.
And the Edencoms would just have to perpetually stop them from getting 27 forever and
Correct.
die until eventually it happened. Okay. Gotcha.
Or vice versa, if 27 flipped immediately, I feel like the event might have just ended right then.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So like because there was a fight, I mean that's if it is to be believed what what was said about Pochvin, then yes, that is correct. Like the systems that were attacked were random. There were like a few of them that were not eligible to be attacked. Like Jita couldn't have been attacked. I don't think Amar could have been attacked. Even though they didn't say like for sure that they couldn't be attacked.
It was only going for 0.5 systems with Blue Sun.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Total tinfoil hat theory on the whole thing.
No, they
But then
confirmed that.
But then once the 27 systems said it was done. So I mean, the only thing that the players really controlled was which 27 systems were taken into Pochvin. How do you say it, by the way? Is it Pochvin, 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 Pochvane?
I would say Pochvin.
Pochvin.
Yeah, that's what I.
Because you're British and everything's posh.
No. The way the word is constructed, if you follow most pronunciation rules, it becomes Pochvin rather than Pochvin because there's not a hard O sound there.
What about Pochwen?
That depends upon your language's ability to pronounce a hard V more than anything else.
Next week on Linguistics for Nerds.
So here's my tinfoil. I think
Let's
it
hear
had
it.
to do about ISK flow and movement of goodness in game because one of the major side effects was Jita to Amar was no longer 7-8 jumps or whatever, and it's like 42 jumps now.
Yeah,
I
That's
that
think
was
somewhere in the
that's
back
not
we did.
tinfoil hat. That's not tinfoil hat. That's a fucking fact. Like the second that everyone saw Niarja on that list, right? Actually, one
Well,
dude was
they
like,
knew
Yeah.
"Hey,
Niarja was
Niarja."
an
But I think they did that on purpose. I think
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
for
like,
sure.
how
Oh
can
yeah,
we
for
fuck
sure.
up the flow of money and goods in this game? And that was the core design
I
objective of the
mean,
whole thing.
It was very
right. So
funny, so I
there was.
had to use that route.
It's interesting you bring that up actually, because when we were talking about this a lot, like 5 minutes ago, we were talking about how if they'd just done 27 systems straight up,
Mhm.
like that would have flipped the storyline and it would have happened so much faster. If that happened, Niarja would never have been a consideration.
That's right.
But
That's
the
true.
moment Niarja became a consideration, this is where the whole like player choice really came in, because we've got to remember, right? Like the Imperium saw Niarja go potential and like piled people in for about
He didn't
18
win
hours
that
or
for a while.
something. Like it was a dumb conflict in high sec that like should never have really happened, but did.
I blame Ashtarothi. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
why I'm
What do
doing
you
that. I just know it's his fault.
Agree with
There's
that,
a
Hunter.
way to into it. Like, and he doesn't say Triglavian, he says Triglavian.
Oh, the
Oh.
Troglavians.
Lavian.
Yeah, that is a good point, right? Also, it would have been like fucking hilarious if CCP's like, "Hey, this is like our brand new content," and then, like the next day it's fucking done. But
Alright, so I've
yeah, I'm gonna say the Niarja thing was absolutely like, that there's no way it wasn't like that,
Yeah, I think
right?
it's one of the core design goals, right? Ultimately, it was going to happen regardless of how anything else went down. That was the reason they did it.
That would
I've
have been
put a poll in the Twitch chat. That is essentially how do you pronounce the word pochvin? Pochvin? Whatever. How do you pronounce it? When this poll is over, so is this topic.
Okay, that's fair. So speaking of Twitch chat real quick, I do want to bring up a comment from Random Nanoli. I didn't have any interest in the Trig Edencom war, and that cost me a few bill in materials that are now stuck in Pochvin, Pacfin, whatever the hell we're calling it.
Jin,
Like, what do we think?
Yeah, once again, like CCP, just be like, whatever, bitch, going on it, because they did that for the abandoned citadels. They gave nobody any time on that, and they did with the Triglavian stuff, because like once again, nobody knew what was gonna happen. They did give people a few days of warning of get your shit out.
Oh, dude, imagine
yeah.
being like, imagine logging out and then you log, like, not really paying attention to what's going on, and you log back in and you're in this wormhole space. You can't take any gates. You don't know how to probe, so you can't take a wormhole out. You're just
You
kind of
can't die
stuck there.
because your
Yeah.
death clone is stuck maybe in there.
Dude,
Like, what happens? Do you go to your school?
You and like
I'm
40 bill worth of fucking
I'm sure that
mats and
you'd
shit.
submit
No,
a
wait, is
ticket.
the Chappie Memorial really in Pochvin? Are you serious?
Yes, yes it is.
Jesus Christ, CCP. Hey guys, you want to go see this memorial? All right, start grinding some standings and come back in a year.
Or just keep elementing in until you hope. That's
Rain, you're suggesting that.
In space.
Sorry.
I personally would have loved it if 27 systems popped immediately with nobody engaging at all, and it didn't matter what they were. They decided to just change which systems they were anyway. They were like, no, we need Niarja or Udema, because Udema was on the list to come up next of the choices, and that would have broken off Jita to the other side of the map completely.
Yeah, what were
So,
you
like,
saying? What were you saying, Dirk? That would have been wild though.
I was just gonna say, like, CCP dropping a memorial into a randomly inaccessible area of space. Like, have you met CCP's decision makers?
Dude, pretty fucking much. Like,
I
imagine
mean,
that.
they didn't intentionally drop it in that in an
That
inaccessible region of space.
no. They could have planned for that shit. They could have done that, but they didn't,
I
and
mean,
that was a choice.
Edencom could have won instead of lost, right?
Edencom could have perpetually fought, is what you're saying.
I just want to let you know that Peach Gen is currently winning, is tied for Poshvin in the poll for how to pronounce that
Peach
word.
Fan.
Peach Gen, by the way.
Oh, Peach Gen. You're like, Peach Fan, come on down the side of the road. I got my Peach Fan open. $3 for a can of peaches.
But
Gin.
anyways,
$4
like
if you want the hairy
Where is
peach.
the gin in all of that?
nowhere.
no.
It's a meme. Like this is how
No,
you get
no, no,
things
no, no,
named.
no, no.
This is how you
Rundle is
get
offering
things.
me. Rundling is offering me a van selling peaches, but no gin. He is like shortchanging me somewhere.
I'm so sorry about that.
This is how you get things named Bodie McBoatface or something like that. Just
Poach
memes.
McPoach face.
Exactly.
Area no one wants to go to. You make the most money by literally doing nothing but watching NPCs fight and then salvaging after them. Good gameplay, much content.
You don't like this. I'm thinking maybe you didn't care for it.
No.
Oh God. See, I'm hearing this going. Have we posted that article already?
Which article?
We've not
What?
posted that article as yet. That is a fun thing upcoming.
500 mil in an hour by salvaging after these NPC battles. We talked about
Yeah.
that before.
You want to talk about 500 mil an hour? We can talk about writing for INN.
We can talk about that if you want to. Let's see which one.
But yeah, my point was like there's an article on like PVE and the worthlessness of Eve PVE coming up on INN at some point soon, TM. So
is
look
it the one with the spider web on the thingy?
I don't think so, but I've not looked at it in a couple of days.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well,
What you were waiting
anyways,
for?
what'd you say, Don?
Is this what you were waiting for, really, to show up?
No, I wasn't waiting for anybody in particular. I wanted to talk about things that weren't the nullsec were for at least a little while, because I am literally ready to unleash absolute and utter chaos in the form of verbal ammunition in your direction.
I don't know what's happened this week, so
It's fine. You will learn. You will learn what's happened. I mean, the poll's not over yet, so we can still talk about Poshvin. Well, actually, we can move on to
actually,
a tiny topic that I don't actually know much
before
about.
Before we move on, we've just had Philly join us. I think it'd be interesting to hear from a CSM representative about the topic of Poshvin, Poachvin, whatever we're calling it.
Peach
Poll
Gen,
hasn't finished,
as the poll is.
and what the CSM's opinion on the whole Triglavian region is, and can he tell us anything about that?
I wasn't watching the show before I joined. I was doing some fleet stuff in Delve. What is the question specifically tailored towards? How is the conversation going? That I'm useless in what way?
Every way is what we're
most of it don't like it and think it's
we're
dumb.
reasoning.
Neutral.
Okay, sorry, multiple people spoke at once. Can you say again?
So
What Don say?
Yeah, Don, go ahead and say what you were saying again.
Most of us think it's dumb and or pointless, or some of us are neutral in that we'll never engage in it or care about it.
You think it's dumb because you don't engage in it?
That most 99% of Eve is not going to engage in it.
Okay.
The thought process, the topic of conversation here, Billy, has been what purpose does it serve? Were we always going to end up with this region regardless of like what the other side had done in that Edencom Triglavian conflict? And like if this was where CCP were aiming towards anyway.
One question at a time, because I really don't have to write down each part of that. So, as far as what was gonna happen regardless, I can't speak to what CCP's plan was, because unless they publicly announced that, that's not information that I've been given leave to share specifically.
Fair.
Personal opinion on it.
My personal opinion is that I think Edencom should have been a more interesting faction to join. I think there should have been a lot more interesting play and counterplay with the Eden Comp forces instead of the kind of the way it is. I don't particularly think there needs to be some grand methodology for the way in which Poshvin works. It's a region that's the same size as Fade, right? How many people in EVE Online engage in the region in Fade on a weekly basis, right? It's a very small percentage of people. And I think Poshvin would probably be comparable to a degree. Obviously, Poshvin is not a singular nullsec region, so the comparison is not perfect, but it is certainly um, within the realm of comparable in that regard. Uh, do I think that CCP is done with Poshvin and the Triglavian invasion and everything else? That is, I can't say or speak on that. That is not for me to talk about.
I don't think they're done with it. And I don't think that it's true that 99% of the EVE players will never engage in Poshvin. Because, simply put,
I think the standings lock behind Poshvin is a serious problem with Poshvin. It's true that people can still engage with the content via the filaments, but the way in which the Poshvin area is locked behind the standings requirement is a major issue that does need to be solved at some point, in my opinion, if we're asking about opinions.
I want to say real quick, thank you, Villy, for being like very considerate about that. You answered a couple of the questions that I hadn't even got to asking in my long monologue. So yeah, thanks for that. And also, yeah, it sounds like you've got a pretty reasonable handle on like the issues there and the player base. So yeah, good job.
Reminder, it's now Peach Gin.
Yes, correct. So the Twitch poll has been determined, and the region is now known as Peach Gen. There
Look,
are at least
no,
200 of you watching live currently. You can make this a thing.
You're
no.
thing.
This isn't a thing anymore because we have a cross-Atlantic agreement on Poshvin, and Villy is a CSM member as well. So like his opinion counts for more.
I think the reality of Poshvin at the moment is that the rewards to be in Poshvin are probably not where they need to be, which is partly due to the fact that the content is somewhat difficult to access or utilize, combined with the standings requirements, combined with the local requirements, combined with the membership requirements. It creates this really overbearing process of trying to engage in the things in there. And I think it will be very difficult for groups to organically grow into Poshvin. My suspicion is that over time, the numbers in Poshvin will not go up. They will just continue to stabilize. As people leak out, new people will leak in. And until something changes, let's say. But there's definitely a lot of potential in Poshvin. I just think it's got some room to grow, let's say.
All right. Do the art team have fun making it at least?
I'm sure they did.
Honestly, every interaction I've had as a CSM member with the art team has been phenomenal. They're one of they're a well-staffed team on CCP, and they do fantastic work. And the beauty of EVE Online, a 17-year-old game, is readily apparent to anyone who gets to play this game with high graphics, which unfortunately is not everybody.
Not
But
most people.
although it's actually funny to note that I remember discussing with the art team and laughing about that, and they're actually taking that into account more and more on skins, trying to enable people playing on lower graphics to get a better experience, trying to make things more interesting, even when you're literally looking at the potato mode kind of thing.
When I
All
get into
right.
a big fight, I gotta.
That's really cool to hear, actually.
Well, what is also really cool to hear is that the Peach Gin topic is now rested. And now, for the next little while, I get to ask all the goons in the channel and all the goons watching on twitch.tv, what the actual fuck are you doing?
Resetting about a
No,
month and a
no,
half
wait,
ago.
what? We're now done. We have to ask with regards to what specifically, Redline?
With regards to the fact that for the last 10 days, you have literally been screaming on every avenue possible, every single Twitch stream, every single Reddit thread, that you have 336, no wait, make that 335 of our Titans and or Supers trapped in M2 TAC XFE, and you have literally done nothing else. Yes, you have reset iHubs, which don't matter, and you have
No,
made
that's not true at
no
all, Redline.
According to
meaningful
your
attempt to
entire
do
Twitch
anything
thread,
else.
The
it does
iHubs
matter.
matter a fair
Redline,
amount,
let's
but
be fair
let's
here.
let Billy do that.
So in the past 10 or so days, they've reset, I think 6 SOV3 Keepstar iHubs, maybe 7. And while yes, they're just iHubs, the SOV3 levels they were at were representing before the Battle of M2 Keepstar kills. So all of those resets have mattered. They've won a couple jump rage systems. They've won a couple Fortizar timers, I think. Yeah, they've killed a couple Fortizars. Like, to say that they've done nothing would be quite disingenuous.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase. Nothing of consequence. Nothing that can't quickly be, I mean, I say quickly lightly because
A month is not a
obviously
short amount of
SOV
time.
3
Some
is
of those
not,
SOV 3s are quite
SOV 3 is,
relevant.
35 days or whatever. But still, that's just time. It offers no
man, like,
real
let's
big
not play.
investment.
Let's not play down, the Goon victories. They've had a very good 2 weeks, right? Like, they had the Battle of M2 too,
But
in
they
which they
haven't,
did
though.
exceptionally. I think it's fair to say they've had a better week than we did on the Pappy Forces side.
I just want to say before we even start talking about various, how do I phrase this? Are they SOTAs? Are they State of the Coalitions? Whatever. Before we get into that conversation, like, we're still here talking about M2 TAC and Trap Titans. Like, we've managed to we managed to contain a significant chunk of Pappy Force Titans and push back into Delve, and realistically that's the thing. We're still in Delve here. We were talking about this pre-show 7 months after the outset of this war. Like, we've not gone anywhere. We're still defending our shit in Delve where we can, and we're still talking about Trap Titans.
So why does the time frame matter? Frankly, I mean, 7
Well-
months, 2 years, 7 months. I mean, if it happens when it
I
happens, it
look
happens,
forward
right?
to watching this war last 2 years, Rundle.
Yeah, well, it could,
Seriously.
right? I mean, it
What's
could.
the
Right?
average time length of a war for most groups? I mean,
Yeah, but
you
this
know,
is
frat
not
held out for
not
2
most
months.
wars. This is something
The war to
significantly
end all
different.
wars kind of thing.
Yeah, war to end all wars under completely different war conditions than in the
Yeah, and
past.
we're
And so the argument that I always hear, where a timeline, why aren't you here? Why aren't you there? I'm like, look, the time part is irrelevant. Um, you know, it'll be obvious in a couple years if it did or didn't happen. Like, you should extend your timeline to be more realistic.
So I guess here's my question. So if we ignore the iHubs, right, which I will agree that the iHubs, they take some time to get back, but it's time that we've already spent and time that we're more than willing to spend moving forward, since we've already done it and we won it without too much of an issue before. What else has happened? Because there have been fights now over some of these more recent iHubs where it literally went from you guys winning iHub and ISCOR to you guys winning iHub but not ISCOR, and now you're losing both and making nightly random headshot attempts at T5Z with no real actionable effort to put into it.
In fairness, it's making me a better FC. I say keep doing it. I've really enjoyed that.
We're going to
'cause
talk
I'm
about
really
that,
pleased.
Jeremy. We're
Me
going to
being
talk
an
about that
FC?
fight tonight. You and that Cerberus fleet.
No, listen. Listen, I was not. I was
Mm-mm.
operating in the direction of somebody else. I literally that was my first fleet. I had no clue what I was doing, and I was being told by someone else.
That's fair. That's fair. We're gonna talk about it though. Anyways, why? So I guess my real question is why hasn't there been more of an effort to purge the invaders, as it were?
What do you want? Do you want us to hit T5Z
Yeah.
with?
Yeah, it's
So
still got some
unfortunately,
invuln.
Redline, the reality is, as long as they're putting the effort into the M2 camp, they realistically can't go after significant other objectives without sacrificing the camp.
What did
I mean, they can like the first week after M2, they were on a super high morale mountain. You know, it's when you get that kind of a win, your morale goes through the roof. When you take that kind of a loss, our morale goes through the tubes, and the numbers obviously reflected that. As time passes, those curves continue to move more towards the baseline, as you're seeing now, as bit by bit the Pappy forces continue to slowly retake the numerical advantage again. With that being said, there's by no means a case to be made that goons are under any clock at the moment, any more than Pappy forces are. This is a war where both sides have a vested interest in extending it, and we will see as time passes, how that's going to play out.
So I don't think that
I'm good with that assessment. Actually, I think that's a fair assessment. And Mittens has said publicly, "Hey, we're not expecting to keep the M2 tack up indefinitely. We just have to keep it up long enough." And no hell camp of this scale has ever occurred, has ever been kept up indefinitely. It was pointed out in Twitch chat earlier on that the UALX hell camp that the Imperial Legacy managed was like 6 days. So
For the record, it was literally just legacy. Imperial did no camping of the hell camp, or very
I know
minor
my
at
body
most.
was there, so I don't want to hear it.
That's why I included the very minor at most at the end there, because there were some goons that came and camped with us, but there was the majority of the Imperium Superfleet was on the other side of the galaxy. There was the 40 Titans and a small contingent of Capitals and Supers that came over, but most of those were also gone within 2 days. So it's a very small contingent that camped with us, although there was some.
I remember being there, Billy. I'm just saying that. But
No, I just don't want to
whatever.
mislead people, right? It was not a. And
That's a
that
fair
camp was
point.
very, very different as well, right? That was a camp on a Fortizar, not a Keepstar, and that was a camp where we chose to take it down because we were fighting an enemy who was, to be fair, almost larger than us, and it was just not worth the effort to maintain the camp, which was the decision we made after a few days.
Which does then reflect the M2 camp, because you are bigger than we are, and maintaining the camp is a significant aspect of your forces tied down.
Well, it is and it isn't, right? So it absolutely is in that you've got a number of Titans and Supers and Capitals there, right? The question is, what is those assets being trapped there? How is that changing the dynamic, right? So what we're seeing is that it's giving you guys a little more capital flexibility to use in some of these fights, which we've seen used. And bit by bit, we'll see if that's going to stay or not. And that will, for the most part, be the question, right? In my opinion, that capital usage was much more enabled by the morale swings than it was by the super capital assets being trapped. But over time, we will see how that kind of plays out.
Well, we've been talking all week about, or the whole time, about how we're obviously very excited about getting a win, and it was like a decisive, we took advantage of a fuck up, but we also understand we're still outnumbered by a lot of people, so we still have to play a certain way, and that's probably why you don't see us going straight for T5Z or YZ9 or shit like that.
Yeah, of course. Going for
If we
T5Z would have been
would have been
a very
terrible.
well. What it would have done is create a rallying cry, as well as a one of the kind of rules of like military large scale warfare, whatever, is you never truly want to put somebody's backs truly against the wall, because then they have nowhere to run, right? You always want to leave them the option to kind of slink out the side door as you hammer them from the front. And like if you would have went after T5Z, it would have created that kind of moment where everybody would have been logging in to the tune of even more than we probably had sitting in T5Z for the M2 timer, right? So
you also have Sov 3 plus in T5Z, so you could put jammers up and just keep us out anyway. So it's kind of
the reality is the jammers don't matter nearly as much as people perhaps think they do for us. We're more than capable of fighting without Sov 3, as we saw today. It's not a decisive factor at all.
Yeah, but it's also a way of that you could control, unless we take those out, which would take potentially a lot of effort and resources, you could control. It's part of the grid that we wouldn't be able to control. Unlike with M2, where
If
you guys controlled the jammers, so at least when we brought in reinforcements, it's only at your discretion, basically.
no,
during
no,
that
that
first
that
fight.
doesn't actually no, Dawn, that doesn't follow because the people who brought the jammer down in M2 were a bunch of subcaps. If you want to bring a jammer down, you take in subcaps anyway. Like subcapitals are the key to controlling the grid on a jammer on a jammer structure and then actually killing it. You have to control the grid and then you kill the jammer and then you can bring your supercaps in.
Yeah, but we didn't control the jammer in the M2 fight. We got it down enough that we could get in, but then in the middle of the fight, we're fighting under a jammer where we could only bring in reinforcements when P-Horde finally took it down whenever they needed it. So we
Which
were just as
is
limited as they were.
Yeah,
But
but
they
in that kind of a fight, the jammers really don't matter because you have a
didn't matter
choice of.
You're right, but
Because
you're
once
you're
you cycle it
already
down for 5
slugging it
minutes,
out.
you've cycled it for an hour, right? So it's
You're already slugging it out. You can get your guys in if you need to, and otherwise you're trying to figure out: do we stay in this and do we extract?
and it's important to remember, like a big reason the jammer was getting cycled is we didn't want people trapped outside of the fight, unable to get in, right? It's you never want to deny your guys that opportunity in that kind of a fight. It's just a terrible thing.
nervous because like the TIS guys had me up on screen. I was like, oh god, I don't want to die. I've never used my Titan before. I don't want to die.
Have you at least practiced with your Titan?
I've shot a pos with it. That's about it.
Well, that's a big oof.
I mean, but the boson changes happened pretty close to when I got my Titan, so it was kind of like, welp.
Let's go on CC.
Yeah, I
Fucking Serenity.
remember when I got my first Titan, and then like a few months
Not
later,
Serenity,
the
Singularity.
AOE Doomsday changes came in, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so I was like, I've got this thing. It's ready to go. Yeah, I've bridged people plenty, but that's about it.
Did you want a boson rat with it? Was that what you wanted to do?
Well, I don't really like ratting. I'm all more about mining, but I did boson rat a little bit, and then we found it really fast with one super and one Titan going because the super could clear out the first two waves up by itself, and then the boson just cleared the rest. But I don't really like ratting. God, I get really bored real quick about it. I don't know why I like shooting rocks more, but what I really wanted to do was use a armor rag as a Trachnarok to shoot inhibs to save people that were dying, and then they changed the Sino changes anyway, so it didn't matter. Wasn't going to be able to use it to do anything anyways. Well, anyway, we've had a great week this week, I feel like, in Imperium.
Yeah.
Had some great fights. I didn't go on a single one of them, which is fine. And I believe Esoteria is getting punched in the dick. And Brave and Warp Intention sounded pretty sad this week.
What happened to Esoteria?
Well, he lost to Fortizar, and I believe Bastion is having a great time over there right now.
So the same as every other week.
Exactly.
You get the
That's
gonna
good
say,
news. Read the last tweet.
50 billion ISKA and crap, so that's kind of nice.
You got what? Sorry, Dominic? Like,
we got Caro in, I think it was C9N. Is that right? It dropped 50 billion ISK worth of crap, and we were able to
No,
Pretty good.
I'm going to ask the man in charge here. A little birdie said that you're unanchoring faction forts. Is that correct, or was someone just like seeing things wrong?
I mean, it's certainly possible. As an alliance, we unanchored all our faction forts in 2018. So like,
Why would they do that?
and any that are left are corporate owned. Like when we were getting invaded during the Extinction War, we unanchored all of the major forts in Faithabilis, Tenerifis, Esoteria, Paragon Sol. There was only like maybe 10 left in the total of Esoteria that I'm tracking. So if there's any left, they're corp owned. So I wouldn't be able to say.
Well, that makes more sense.
I mean, either way, it makes sense, right? Like, faction forts are significant, valuable assets, even
Not if
without
they
the
don't
rigs.
have
Losing that rig though. I mean, that's
the rig.
No,
Like,
even without the rigs, they're limited issue assets.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, faction fortizars, their value's gone up considerably in the last year. Considerably, right? Like, the Mimtar and Amar ones have went from like 20 to 40, and the Galente and Kaldaris have both hovered consistently in the 70 to 80 range. I mean, that's a considerable rise in the value of those fortizars. And I know for a lot of people, when the value changed from 20 to 40 on those Amars, it has definitely become a little bit of an equation change, let's say. So that would not surprise me either.
So
But I mean,
wants us to
obviously, if we want to talk about unanchoring faction fortizars, I can, make the same comment about Delve and period basis, right? Because there's no shortage of them.
we didn't
once
unanchor most.
you've been unanchored, you lose that rig. They're basically just a bragging point at that point, right? They're not any better, correct?
No, they have
they're
some
considerably better still.
values, yeah.
So the Mimitar one has an extra high slot. The Amar one has an extra low slot. The Kaldar one has an extra mid slot, I want to say. The Galente one has an extra high, I think, as well. And the Morio has an extra high plus an extra launcher slot, which is a considerable thing.
And they do
all
have a
have
hull bonus specific to the racial thing.
Yeah, they all have the hull bonus, which is mostly garbage actually, but they all have extra hit points, and the Amar one especially has extra armor hit points. You can get the Amar one to take literally an hour if you want, like at full damage cap with plates, to be reinforced. It's absolute cancer.
So chat wants us to trash talk more. So, Rundle, fuck you, I guess. I don't know.
All right, I'll take that fuck you and double down
Speaking
with
of
a
trash
double fuck you.
Redaline, what was wrong with my fleet in T5 besides
Dude,
basically
don't
everything?
even. I'm just trying to understand how Billy talked me out of shit talking goons for an hour.
He's very good at it.
I don't know. I think it's important to call a spade a spade. Goons have had a good week and a half since M2, and if you attempt to downplay that and say they haven't, it makes it less true when you say next week, if Goons have a bad week, that they're also having a bad week.
Yep.
Like you need to be able to, how do I put this? Like black, when things are black and things are white, you need to call them black and call them white, right? Like if
Sure,
Goons are
but
having
what
a good week, give them credit for it, right?
What I'm looking at,
right,
so like
okay,
if a good
red
week
line.
is black, I'm looking at the potential for the week to be Vanta black, like the blackest
No,
of blacks.
Red line. The thing here is, like, you have to consider these large alliances as businesses, right? They have a really good week, they're in the black. They have a bad week, they're in the red. But these businesses, they take things week on week. And so, like, if they then have a couple of good weeks following, they're back in the red and they're not, like, negative at all. And that's the kind of approach you have to take on it. You're talking about week on week. What is the approach? What have you got to fix? What have you got to change? What have you got to maintain to be in that red rather than be in that black rather than be in that red? Sorry.
Well, I think what I'm really looking at is that this, like, so after M2, this was supposed to be when the knife was twisted, and I haven't seen any knives being twisted.
We reset a month and a half worth of work for you dumb fucks. Like, I don't know what more you want me to do.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hello. You're loud. Let me turn you down. I mean, so you resetting a month and a half of work when we're prepared to spend months on end here.
Some of you are prepared to spend months on end.
I mean, who's not?
I don't know.
For
I'm sure there's
Brave
a
Bank and Catch, right?
Have spent
I
months
mean,
on it.
look at Brave and Warped and all them people. They're gonna have to go
Oh,
home.
Bob joined us apparently today, so there you go.
Who did?
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Redline, you've claimed that Dreadbomb have joined the Imperium. Do you want to defend that claim?
I made that claim in a back channel where no leaks are allowed. You guys are
I made that
leaking
claim
onto the
in
stream now.
I didn't
I
bring
made
that
that
up.
claim.
Yeah, Loki, you're coming to hang out with us again?
How do you feel about being in a Imperium again, Loki?
What do you mean again? When the fuck was I in the Imperium?
You never
The
left.
first
Just
time.
go with
Oh,
it.
Never left.
I've
Oh,
never,
okay, that
I've
makes
never
sense.
been in the fucking Imperium.
Oh, I
First of
think
all,
you have been.
So it's the first time for you then.
Time
I
for
promised we wouldn't talk about it unless Seto is here, because he wanted to say
Seto-
something about it. Apparently,
Seto is too busy
Okay, what else do we
massaging
want to talk
Matani's
about?
foot.
I don't know,
I
but
wanna-
I'm about
I
to.
want to talk about how Dunk sounded. You know, at least Dunk in his address like gave some character and charisma like he usually does, and tried to give a good spin on the fact that they're running out of money because they had to core everything, which I don't think they cored everything. And then Warped was just like 5 minutes of like, here's what I'm supposed to tell you, and everything's awful. At least
Give
that's
that
what I
guy
heard.
I got done listening
He
to that.
needed a hug.
For him. Dunk is a great speaker, though.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. The Warped leadership just needed to practice their speech. I mean, like,
No, I'm
stumbling
going to
over.
cut you off there. Stop.
Oh,
So
okay,
let me be
carry on.
clear on this, guys. Let me be clear on this. No. So these guys are volunteers running a volunteer organization in a video game. Charisma is not a fucking requirement, and people judging other people's speaking ability in public is, to me, just not in the cards. There's enough people out there putting their time and effort in trying to organize this video game for their bros. They don't need to be fucking shit on because they're not a god tier public speaker. And I can assure you, many of the people that you guys think might be good public speakers aren't. And I'm not a good public speaker necessarily either. Like, let me be clear on that. I just think this is like just not somewhere we need to be going, where we're judging people's public speaking ability.
I'm judging that they sounded depressed, and that makes me happy.
Nobody
They-
sounded depressed. What do you mean?
Listen, I've had to deal
If
with you
I
all
ever-
jerking it off, trying to take over my home and destroy my stuff.
Dunk.
And then the moment that shit starts happening in their area, they have the audacity to be offended that we came over and shot them.
Don,
Fuck
okay.
off.
Don
Who's
wants to be happy.
offended that you
We
shot
outnumbered
us?
you
We were called
300
a fuckwit
characters yesterday
to
in the
go
T5Z. 300 characters we outnumbered you on. We won many I have timers. We did a ton of stuff today where we outnumbered you, where we kicked butt, and we're coming back at this. Alrighty. So I'll be smug all you want, Don, because we are still in this war. We're still gonna win it.
Yeah.
All right.
Still in the war,
Jeremy,
you're not gonna
Jeremy,
win it.
you should be smug, or no, you shouldn't be smug. You guys should be outnumbering them. You guys have like 3/4 of the fucking like galaxy.
I don't know
Yeah,
how you
like
can be proud of anything when literally you have 3 times our numbers. It's like punching
Don't-
a kitten. How can you be proud of that? No matter how
when the,
well
when
you
the
do
kitten when the kitten says like,
The same
just-
way that you were proud of smashing Tribute and Veil for starters.
same
NC
way you're
has some
proud of
friends from
smashing
Keyboard,
Brave
right?
and all these other like new bro corps who like basically
It
just have trouble fighting back.
it is literally in it, and then like a sig.
Brave
Yeah,
has
it's the
Titans.
so an entire alliance that outnumbers
There are
them.
no super
That's a new
capitals.
bro
You
corps.
can't
in the
no, you
front.
cannot call Brave New Bros when they have Titans. And
They
not
have
just
like
a
5. They
British
literally have
Titans.
like 5.
They have combat Titans in fights that they're using. You cannot
can
call
get
them
All right,
Brave
I'm just gonna. I want to really interject real quick here. Sorry, Dominic, but like I want to really interject here real quick. First up, yeah, Brave, great. Like Brave are good dudes. They always throw up a fight. But I want to really acknowledge a comment from Chase Man in Twitch chat, which says, "If somebody sounds depressed, that's not something to fuck about. Fuck around about." Sorry, fucking Twitch chat keeps moving. What if they actually are depressed? He's lost friends to that shit, and I think everyone in this channel can appreciate that. You know, depression is not something to fuck about with, and I'm sure all of us have really been impacted by that shit. So I do just want to say, nobody's using that as a derogative point. That was really a point to consider about morale and the way that affects people, and that could have been better phrased. But that's a very fair point to have brought up.
I did call the Imperium pussies, so just so you know.
what do we even? It doesn't matter.
We don't know.
Somebody was commenting on somebody's public speaking ability or something. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, so somebody was trying to make
doing
fun
that.
of the dude's public speaking ability, and I kind of take a little bit of offense at that.
So players are cunts.
And somebody in chat asked an interestingly pointed kind of question when I said that, and they said, "Why does somebody with poor communication skills feel that they need to run an alliance?" And I've got a good answer for this. It's because they want to help their buddies. They want to do what they can to help their friends. They want to do their best for their bros.
They could be fantastic organizers. They could have the ability to
Mickey
strategize very well. They could be fantastic pilots. They could. There's all sorts of reasons why they.
I mean,
they want to play a game. Like that's what we're doing, right?
There have been very famous alliances built around really poor communicators who were just really good FCs. So I don't know what the fuck that's even supposed to mean.
Gangbang team.
It's just an attempt to be a douche canoe.
I guess so. Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, I can appreciate, it. I don't know. Communication within alliance is probably important, right? Generally,
tear someone down so you can feel better about yourself.
The thing is like, so if I have a hard time communicating for some fucking reason, then just get other fucking people. Just delegate it to other people, and then just tell them what you want them to say.
The reality is that the people who communicate better will succeed at things that communication is reliant on better.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
But when somebody fails at it, or somebody doesn't do it as well as you think is required, smarten the fuck up. These are the people that take the time and the effort and they put in the work to try and communicate. And the vast majority of these fucking Monday morning quarterbacks who go out there and talk shit about people, stepping up and trying to lead their buddies and their friends and doing whatever, it's just, I don't know, it gets to me because it's such an immense amount of work for people to lead even a small alliance or a small group of people. And not so few people have any concept of the workload that somebody like that guy's putting in. And yeah, so I don't know. It just bugs me a little bit.
I mean, Moses led the whole tribe of Israel out of Egypt, and he couldn't speak well. So I think people can run a video game alliance.
Let's go to the content of those speeches instead of how they were delivered. So, in both of those, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong as far as the Warp speech goes, but in both of those speeches, it was essentially a call to arms to defend the homelands kind of thing. That's an accurate statement, right?
That's mostly what I got out of it, was that our stuff's getting shot. We need to try and defend ourselves. We cored everything, but our coffers are now low because of that. So we're going to need to do something. They have not said exactly what yet to raise those coffers. I laugh at the fact that they have a mining tax, but you do you.
Well, how they implement that? Actually,
I mean, you guys have a mining tax too.
No, we don't.
When you can mine,
we don't have a mining tax. What are
you
you
don't pay for the
talking about?
moons?
I pay that is access to my moons. I don't pay for anything that I actually mine on.
You don't pay for the moons?
She doesn't have
right.
I don't have any moons right now. You're right.
No, like nobody pays for moons right now. Let's be real.
I mean, right now,
right now,
but normally,
just specifically, you pay for private access.
I pay for access to the moons.
Like realistically, it's a payment to exclude others.
I just want to know how we really should be talking about how this is negatively affecting small alliances like that, where they're having to make these decisions, rather than being a better form of coring that maybe only applied to certain structures or had a different version or whatever, so that small alliances or comparatively small alliances didn't have to make these tough decisions that just made the game less fun for everyone.
I want to keep to my original topic presentation of the content of these speeches and just make sure that everybody knows that legacy alliances are no stranger to jump clone deployments. And I'm guessing that's more than likely all this is. They say we're going to jump clone back to the homeland and we're going to defend our shit, which is normal. I'm certain that if our shit was getting kicked in, we'd do the same thing. I mean, we still have people there to do so anyways, but...
Okay, well, while talking about the content of the message, the fact that they have to does affect the war.
It does, kind of.
The fact they're in their own homeland, they can't be on the front fighting there at the same exact time. Now, can they go back and forth? Absolutely. Every no-psych alliance knows how to jump clone around. That's just, if you're no-psych, you know how to do that, right? That's a thing. We get that. But the fact that they have to, that's important. To our side, it's very important.
I
mean,
mean,
it
so
definitely
there's intrinsic
seems like
value in
something to.
ensuring that the size of the alliances in your coalition, that you're keeping your alliances healthy then, right? Instead of feeding off of the little ones to feed the big ones, as happens in a lot of coalitions. Like, it's probably a good thing then that you try to keep your alliances like relatively healthy, is what I'm trying to say, because when this shit happens, then if they have lots of dudes, if they're not just a little alliance, if they're a bigger alliance, then that impacts the war less, doesn't it?
Do you want to show us on the doll where the big alliance touched you?
No, I mean, actually, Domino.
No, because you guys are bitching at
No.
us about a bunch of stuff, and we're like, yo, you're a tiny little alliance that can't defend itself. Like, you're gonna get fucked. It doesn't matter who your friends are. You're gonna get fucked. The only thing you can do as an alliance is grow. If you grow and you can defend yourself, then you're fine. Yeah, because I mean, at some point, like, your coalition's not always going to protect you, right?
Dominic, he has a very good point. Beyond his last comment about, at some point your coalition isn't going to defend you. Like, that's I don't even know what that comment is from an Imperium perspective, but like,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
no, go on.
real quick,
real quick. Like, actually having allies who are able to go and deploy and do other things for themselves, like TNT can focus on whatever the hell they want. When we're in
They
peacetime,
exist.
whatever.
They are.
The Bastion. I want to call out the Bastion for having done some fantastic work already this war, and continuing to do that in it. Everywhere and anywhere in the public sphere. Like, having allies who know how to go out and do stuff is really positive, and I think the Imperium is reaping the rewards of that right now.
Thank you.
I just personally love that about 5 weeks ago, y'all said, "Oh, Brave and Fed Up are holding up just fine on their own."
They are.
They are.
Yep, they are. They're doing good. I mean, well, 5 weeks ago, Dread Bomb wasn't being paid off by the Imperium to go tackle.
Dreadbomb's being paid by the
Jeremy,
Imperium.
please, Jeremy, please. Our
saying-
unsubstantiated claims are reserved only for botting and nullsec. Okay, on this show, Mr.
I don't
Jeremy.
remember paying you, but it's possible.
Well, those
yes.
claims are sustained. I'll have you know.
Those claims are not sustained at any point, but that's fine.
Number one region in nullsec for mining and ratting.
At
That's what I
Seto,
love.
can you confirm
Jeremy,
or
this
deny?
if you're not with us or against us attitude is really probably not going to serve anybody very well. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you're definitely against us. I don't know what to say, man.
dude,
Loki,
we're
we
not
do
against,
have
we're
the
not
cash.
against
We
any,
can work
we're not
something out.
against anything, dude. Like, we're
Dude,
doing.
you're literally just going into like New Bro space as an alliance that has probably a bigger
Please
cap
stop
space.
calling Brave New Bro Space, dude. Brave has been around longer than most fucking other
And
alliances in the game.
yeah.
Time and time again.
Could you name me
solid
a
alliance.
more New Bro focused alliance besides Horde?
It'd be Horde.
Conflict
Sicko.
University.
Don't say
But
Sicko.
Horde also
Sicko is
has a large Titan
different.
fleet and everything else, right?
Eve University, I guess. Like, I don't know.
No,
I don't think
Conflict
is that an alliance,
University is a more Newbro-focused alliance than Brave is and is younger.
Sicko is more of like a slave association.
All new people. They're a good alliance. They know what they're doing. They're just in over their heads.
Well, okay, and this is the other thing too. You guys are bitching about targeting Brave. How many nullsec alliances have actually targeted Brave over the years?
I know, like, who would do that?
100 fucking percent of
do
them.
that?
Nullsec players
So
go out
so suck my
target Brave,
so suck it,
New
dude.
Bros, and just fight them. Like, who would do that? What elite nullsec alliance would do that? I can't name any.
Don't shit in your neighbor's lawn. That is the number one rule. So if you
Is
want
in your neighbor's lawn
the
anyway.
largest solo alliance in the game and don't think we're gonna come for easy content, I'm sorry. You did not think this plan through. Like, who else is in the way? It is further for us to go to Esoteria and hit them than it is to hit Brave. So yeah, we're gonna go fuck up Brave first. They're right there. It takes no time to get to catch. I can't get if P Horde lived
Wait,
next.
whoa. So you think it's quicker to get to catch than Esoteria?
Which way you go, but it's pretty easy to get
She
there.
can't read a map.
I can read a map. Fine. I've also had like a glass and a half of wine, so please bear with me.
Well,
a glass
the
and a
difference
half.
is I think 2 jumps to get to Paragon Soul versus catch, but
Yeah, but
you also have to
Paragon
go
Soul-
through the catch former exclusion zone, which is like 9 jumps of basically dead space too.
to shoot there. I think you still have a Keepstar there, right?
4 jumps in fat, but it's literally an empty system 90% of the time.
That's great. I'll go shoot that.
Well, come on then. Go shoot it.
Come down. Think I won't?
Jump in your Rorqual and go there.
So, anyways, my whole point to talking about the war was that it seemed like they're just. So, Villy, do you think that the fact that we have I'll say all of our Titans and Supers, even though I know that's not true, but do you think that
It's like a third.
us having all of those ships trapped in M2 should have created an opportunity for the Imperium to do more? Or do you think they've done a sufficient amount of things that they should be proud of? Like, if you were the person in charge of the Imperium counterattack, would you be proud of what they've done so far?
Yes and no. I think they've done a lot. I think they could have done more, obviously, but I don't think what they did is an unacceptable amount. I think they put in a good amount of work and they got some good results, and they should be happy with that.
Got it.
You can always do more, but this is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. Even though obviously there was an opportunity to sprint and get ahead here. I don't think they should be upset with the progress they made in the last week and a half at all.
So, and here's my angle on that, and I don't want this to come across as spin because I try really hard not to be super spinny on this show. That's the whole point. But everything that I saw about like numbers advantage and everything was that once the numbers advantage hit like 1.5 to 1, as far as Imperium being outnumbered 1.5 to 1, that the fights would be winnable and that things would start to happen more frequently. And right after MTAC2 or M2 TAC, sorry, that system doesn't exist. Right after M2, those numbers were, I mean, it was the Imperium was outnumbering us in some of those things, like the DWI hub. We had Taylor on here last week say that the Imperium outnumbered us. So, I mean, if being barely outnumbered is a win condition, like I would have seen that as an opportunity to really go for it and twist the knife. And now that we've been getting fights every night for the past week, and now that everybody's said, all right, if you got a subcap pilot and M2, just fucking die, go to Valhalla, apply for SRP, we'll call it a day. Now the numbers advantage is back up to 3 to 1, and that's on a subcap level, but we're still not seeing any kind of capital escalation. I take that back. We saw capital escalation the other night over UEXO. There's like 5 NC dreads, and you guys dropped like 10 dreads on them and killed them. But really, it's just faxes on iHub nodes and then some dreadnoughts here and there. I would expect to see Titan, like, really putting the hammer down, saying, "All right, fuck you. You think that you're gonna go around and do shit right now? You're doing nothing to really actually twist the knife."
Yes,
But
fine. We're going to
But
drop
now
our
you
Titans.
get your
I
numbers
guess,
back.
You could
Guess what?
log in 100
guess,
and kill them.
but I guess that if you're wanting to keep the M2 camp strong, you wouldn't necessarily do that.
Well, didn't Mittens himself say that the only thing that they needed to like take their caps out of M2 to reuse, and no one did it, and so everyone's just sitting in their caps in M2 and not doing anything?
Yeah, I listened. I did what I was told.
What were you told? What was it, Jeremy? I didn't hear it.
Matani in the fireside was telling people to get their capitals out of M2, but there's still a lot of capitals in M2 tied up, a lot of sub-capitals in M2 tied up.
Yes,
yeah, so there's like 300 some people in M2 when I was just there a second ago. Just chilling.
For downtime, for you guys log yours.
I don't know what more you want us to do, but
They want
I
us
mean,
to
I would
overextend
like
ourselves.
you to do nothing actually, because that's a really good victory for us,
I
right?
know you like that. Like, I guess you're saying you want us to drop Titans on a few dreadnoughts and then leave us exposed to having you drop 200.
It's literally just a chess game
and
right
hope for
now.
the best there. Like, no one's gonna fucking do that. Titans die if you breathe on them, compared to what they used to be. That would
Maybe
be
you
the
should go
dumbest-
mine moons like you used to.
Oh my god, I so wish I could.
Maybe.
I mean, I honestly think the longer this war is prolonged, the better it is for Pappy.
That's an interesting perspective, but I'll give you a chance to actually defend.
I mean, Goons have lost Helm's Deep. They've lost E3OI is dead. I was there the other day in X-Wings. There's nothing there.
We lost Helm's Deep. We
was
spent
a
the
lot.
last week winding down Helm's Deep because half of your supercap forces are trapped in M2. That's the way that goes. So yeah,
Do
E3
pray
is going to be
tell
a little empty.
Where's your money coming from? Where is the Alliance members' money coming from? Like 2 pockets in the back of Dell.
Okay, do we need to talk about war bonds already tonight? Is
No,
that
I'm just saying.
where
I'm
we're
just
going
no.
here? Because
No,
we dropped
not saying
war
that.
bonds. No, really, we dropped war bonds.
Not
that
saying.
Even if you just add up the shit in the war bonds thread, totals to 6 trillion isks worth of
I'm not talking about that. Where is the first ISK? Where's the day-to-day line members? Where is that wallet coming from?
Where are the line members' wallets coming from? Well, it's coming from the line members who invested in the war bonds and who still have ISK lying around, and also our SRP program, which is pretty.
He's asking where is the revenue?
I'm a line member. Where do I go make money? Where are
you from the assets that we're leveraging to pay back the war bonds just to start?
So aside from war bonds, where are line members making money?
We've been making money in other ways for over a year because of CCP's stupid scarcity bullshit. I make my money doing stuff in HiSec. Lots of people run abyssals. A lot of people run incursions in the NPC incursion group. A lot of people
you're a
do
HiSecer.
HiSec. Yes, I have a HiSec alt that I make a lot of money on.
So just remember, if you hate goons, gank HiSec.
I mean,
that's what we've been doing for the last.
We just put 5,000 people in Jita and hey, Brisker in T5Z.
So this is not something that I think is a strong point, but it is a valid point. So basically, the point he's trying to make, and perhaps not making as cleanly as possible, is that basically with no simple revenue sources, a lot of general line members struggle to usually make money. Simple things like anomalies, belt ratting, easy mining, etc. Those are usually the easier things for people to make money on. And bit by bit, those sources of revenue have gone.
They were already gone.
Don't. Right. There's a very fair point that Villy has just made, which is that those revenue sources have been eaten into bit by bit by bit. But one thing that I will say that Goonswarm is very good at is providing guidance as to how to maximize your investment in any given situation. The idea that we've stayed static to where nullsec income was a year ago is outright hilarious. And the idea that we haven't been telling people how to make money in HiSec, how to make money in other places in nullsec, just what else are you expecting here at this point?
Getting tongue-tied there.
I'm sorry. Somebody just said that there are threads explaining how to use OnlyFans to make ISK, and I can't.
Only ISK.
I wouldn't doubt it somewhere in there.
I haven't experienced them myself, but I would not be surprised. Exactly.
Find that thread. Where's it at?
Somebody actually asked me that the other day, and I was like, "No, I don't think so, bud." It was.
You don't have an
OnlyFans? I just want to say as a final point to that, our income sources come from taxing our members. That's we have assets, but our income sources come from taxing our members.
You tax your members? How dare you?
It's in our interest
what are you
to
taxing?
have. We're taxing 5% member corp, and it's up to the member corp what they tax. But that's.
Whoa, you're taxing 5% of what? Sorry.
That's 5% of their ratting income. Sorry, I should be.
So they're doing in HiSec. 5% of HiSec ratting. So
if
10
they
ISK an hour.
If they're ratting in an Alliance Corp, in high sec, then yeah, we're taxing them on that. If they're not in an
The
alliance,
point he's trying to make is that most of the
Going to-
taxable income is not exist in high sec. It's abyssals which are not taxable. It's incursions which to a degree actually are taxable. Like level 4 missions are not well taxable. Like
we also tax on industry and what have you, but a lot of that comes from corporation taxes rather than individual taxes. And so
industry taxes? What are you talking about?
Building.
Industry taxes exist.
Like you have a tax on your Sotio or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how little money that makes?
Have you
Tiny
seen how
amounts.
much we build?
What?
Have you seen how much we make?
I run the perimeter Sotio. I can tell you that manufacturing taxes are worthless. Okay, please don't like.
He no, he's 100% correct. They're worthless.
That's where a lot of the lines when it comes from is industrial.
I can 100% assure you, you do not make like any money on your fucking Sotios. Like the way the taxing works on production is just it's not a thing. It's a myth. Somebody in chat can explain it.
It's not even laughable.
Chat is saying that they make more than perimeter.
Of course they do.
It's not true. Yeah.
Listen, if you only count the real Satios, right? The real ones, they make a lot of money. All the fake Satios, no, they don't make any money.
Oh, well,
just the
count the
real, just the real ones.
All the John Hartley Sotios, they're not making any money, right? Is that what it is?
Oof.
John Hartley Satios are not making any money because they just got like dismantled, as far as I heard.
It didn't exist, remember?
There was it was like someone pressed a button and then the servers capped out about jobs in a studio or some shit like that. I don't know. It was crazy.
Cap that CCP put on it. Yeah.
That's a voice I recognize. It must be time to spend wildly.
I don't
drinking Kool-Aid.
He's just trying to correct for you, Redline.
Yeah, I guess makes sense. I wasn't spinning, by the way. I was just making an observation, which you agreed to.
Market taxes are a real thing. I mean, you can get some mischief for that.
Jeremy, I just memed on your boys.
Did you? I didn't notice.
One of your dudes was fit with like a pimp fit fucking whatever the Tech 2 hack Triglavian shit was.
Hikatursa?
Like a diva dude or just like a
He engaged my gnosis and my first gnosis got him down to like super low hole, but he like stuck around and I guess he was like fucking with my pod or trying to like gel me. And then BBT number 2 came in and got up in that ass.
So how many
so you
ships?
just blobbed some dude.
So you lost. How many ships did you lose?
Redline, it's not about how many, okay?
It's not.
How many?
No.
What do you mean?
I mean,
that's all the pings last night were saying is
have-
that it was about how many ships were lost and not how much ISK was lost. I'm just
want you to know
trying
there
to
are a
understand.
whole- There
I'm
are
just
a
trying to
whole lot of
understand, Bill.
mom and sister jokes in that, and I refrain from dropping them.
Well, you're from Alabama. It's real life experience for you.
Stop it.
Such a low. Such a low
Stop it. That's
you're-
not acceptable
Tide.
content
Oh.
for our stream.
Okay, well,
Please and
after the
thank
show,
you.
What were you saying, Redline? Not before you're
I believe he was telling you to shut up, Bill, because you didn't know what you were talking about. But you know,
Correct. That about sums it up. Actually, thanks, Dirk, for clarifying that for me. I appreciate
so
that.
please carry on, Bill.
That's some goon on goon violence right there.
Redline, the day that you realize how much I know more than you is going to be the day you realize that.
And this week, that day was called Monday.
What?
They realize what? Did you just say realize like 3 times in a sentence and try to make sense?
No, I said it twice. I just repeated. The second part was just a repeat of the first part.
Either the second part was just a repeat of the first part.
If you go back and then flip it and then turn it around and think about it in the
So it's like it's like a cryptogram, you know?
My bad. It was Sunday.
Isn't this a Missy Elliott song?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just confused for a second there because I thought sure I saw a bunch of Elo Knight morale pings about how killing 200 hacks and still losing the ISK score was somehow important. But I
You
digress.
saw Elo Night pings? That's
How is that possible?
impressive.
Yeah, he was morale posting away the other day. We killed
Edition
200
we've got-
hacks while we lost 200 Tech 2 cruisers. Good job, guys.
Logi died again. Shocker.
Well, I
It's
mean,
a
you know,
Oh,
if we kill 130 hacks and 70 logistics cruisers, and you guys kill 200 hacks,
Yeah.
That's
Sounds like
that
you need-
70 that's 70 hacks less than us.
Yeah,
yeah, I
but-
know that's a spinny answer, right? Like,
That's
So
the
the
dude.
Logi.
so the line members with their non-existent income streams are gonna buy more Logi ships. Okay.
Hey, you can't
Not
Logi rep a
fucking
Deep Star out of
no.
existence, okay?
I gotta lie about that. We all making fucking money in our own ways. I'm making money. Joe
Okay.
Schmo's making money.
Okay. Tell me
Are
about
you
Joe
making the
Schmo.
same?
Wait, you
Hey,
know
guys,
Joe?
Midlife pays me, so that's how I make money.
It's true.
But
I
Joe
do.
Schmo didn't have 32 moons before.
I mean,
Before. And they did
I
not
think.
Dawn, I mean, as
Yeah,
much as there's
Joe
truth
Schmo.
to that, I really don't think you need to use yourself as an example of the average member's, money-making capabilities.
1 billion to own 24 moons a month.
Go on, like, as long as the guys are getting their ships replaced, what do we care?
They seem to think that like we spend a ton of money on these ships, and I definitely do not. My wallet's only been going up this entire war.
Do you
What
think
are
you
you,
fundamentally
pulling
spend
ships out of
anything
your
different than
ass?
what we spend?
Spend money on them. That's ridiculous.
If I build it myself, Billy, it doesn't cost ISK.
Who was arguing with me about that the other day? Where they're like, "Yeah, I can't remember now."
Build it, it's
GL.
free.
Anybody who makes the argument that the thing is free because they built it is just
Well, they're
dumb,
saying that their
and-
time is worthless. It's worth nothing. Yeah.
No, you.
My time is
Yes,
worth
you are dumb, Bill. Thank you.
Dirt, I will
Don't talk to
gouge
Bill.
your
Don't talk to
eyeballs
Big
out
Bill like that.
and
He's a
skull
nice
fuck
man.
you on stream.
Anyways,
That's a 3-day ban, you know,
We need to
nowadays.
have a Logi truce one day, so no one shoots Logi. Just
that
give
would
us a
be
break.
terrible.
I'm down.
we
Let's
can
do
Are
it.
you kidding me? Are you
No,
kidding
Frank.
me? Like, look,
I've
you.
reshipped 3 times in a fight once.
Let me just be very clear and precise in how I say this. But in Alpha Doctrines, you wish you mattered.
Yeah,
But
exactly. So stop shooting us first. Just let us like
but it
pretend
wouldn't
to
Shoot
win.
Don first every time.
But we
That's what
can't.
happened.
It's
At the Israel.
literally it's the qualifier. Like it's what makes every Goon FC run away is shooting all their Logi.
Well, no,
Oh,
they
my
don't run
Logi's
away, and then they
dead.
just
Goodbye.
leave.
What are you
I
fucking
feel
talking
bad
about?
for
Fucking more.
getting Logi, though. I mean,
I'm making an overview right now that's just for Logi. Just
You
because
don't
it's
Technically,
have
all you
one
have to do
already?
is web Elo, and he'll stop fighting.
No, he won't
Anybody,
actually.
any FC that didn't already have a Logi overview is a bad FC, and you should stop flying with them.
Well, I'm an FC, but yeah, I'm also bad. So
Well, speaking of you being a bad FC,
you're flying away from the rest of the group there.
what
Jared.
was that? What was that?
How do you
warp?
fly away from the group if you're
that
the
was
FC?
that was
What
the
was that
warpin I
warpin',
was
dude?
that was the warpin I was told to go to.
Okay.
And
then
you
I started
didn't warp
burning.
your fleet to it. Well,
I did
good
not.
job,
No,
you.
no. I warped. I warped to the warpin I was told to, and then
And
I
then
just started.
starbursted?
Yes, because we thought they were bombers. We thought we were gonna get bombed.
There were bombers,
No,
and we
sorry,
did get
sorry.
bombed.
So you warped to the position that you were taught to, and then you told your fleet to warp to it instead of warping your fleet to it
No,
and
they
then
fleet
telling them
warped.
to
No,
start.
we fleet warped, and then we starbursted.
Okay.
See, I thought it looked like you warped there and your fleet said, I'm not following that guy.
No, we fleet. I was just aligned already. But no, so we
You didn't have
starbursted.
your fleet passive aligned.
Like half of them weren't. Just be here.
Pretty typical to Dirk.
Yeah,
That's just an
Dirk,
approach.
It was a flash
pretend.
form, dude. It was a flash form. Like
It was
Dirk,
a flash form that can't approach FC.
We were in T5Z for like 20 minutes before you guys finally showed up.
No. I'm just. I want to focus on the. I want to focus on the flash form that can't approach FC.
Oh, that didn't. No. You're stop. That there was a starburst call that was made because they thought that there were going to be bombers showing up.
Yeah, so we landed. I called starburst, and then I started burning
Wait,
towards
you
you.
landed, not aligned?
Yeah, so we landed, and some of the fleet wasn't aligned, but we starbursted out, and everyone else came. We kept starbursting. We didn't get bombed, so we anchored up and we started approaching the Goon fleet. That's what happened.
I'm just
It
so
looked funny
happy
on
Rich
screen,
is not
Jeremy.
on
It
tonight.
looked like you were going off on your own and no one was following you. It's kind of funny.
I didn't know that we were going to be that far off. Like,
Hi, a line on FC. No, Starburst. Take this fleet warp.
No,
When you land,
you're out of order.
Starburst.
So I called it a line to the iHub. Not everyone was fully aligned. So I called as you land, Starburst off of me, prop mod on.
Someone asks, can we replace Starburst with Spread? And the answer is no, we cannot.
If you replace Starburst with Spread, people will go in the same direction instead of picking just wherever the hell they want to go. It's a bad call.
No, with Starburst down, it would just be worse.
Oh, anyways, yes, I am an FC. How did you know in chat? Because I am an FC.
You on stream.
Anyway,
I just realized that Bill and I are wearing the same jacket.
You all wear the same jacket.
Twinsies.
I finally it took me 2 years to finally get this jacket.
Oh my god,
I'm so excited.
the Big Bill line jacket.
The Kool-Aid drinkers all wear the same jacket. That's how it
Whoa,
goes.
whoa. First of all, like, just because somebody
First of all,
steals my
slurp.
flag. What, is my microphone fucked up right now?
No, your microphone's
I-
fine. I'm just saying slurp because you're drinking Kool-Aid, but it's all good. I see Brisk Rubal has joined the show tonight. Brisk, did you have something you wanted to add to the
The Kool-Aid
conversation this
man,
evening?
Redline.
Flabbergasted at how boring you are.
Wow.
Fuck off and don't watch. So
hurts.
hard. Wow.
Help it. I have to watch the show because I want to see what happens next.
Sounds really insecure, TBH.
Next episode of.
Just pay attention to the recap.
Did you just use a text abbreviation?
Honestly, the real reason I'm here is because Sager's here.
Yeah, Bill.
Oh, okay.
Everybody loves me.
LOL.
So you want to say hey to Sager? All right, cool.
Hi, Sager.
Well,
How are you?
anyways.
Hi, Brisk.
Brisk, I mean, I thought it was special, but thanks.
Well, of course
Fuck
you're
you,
special.
Dark.
They made a special helmet for you.
I have it in good faith that the only reason that you watch this show is to get more information for the meta show because you guys are running out of content. Is that correct?
I mean, aren't we all?
How did you figure it out?
Fuck, dude, because if that's correct, I only watch the meta show to get content for TTT.
It's a giant circle jerk. We're all
Oh,
stealing each other's content.
We're all fucked.
It's time to hop over to Path of Exile then, yeah?
That's the real delve.
you
Path
could do
of
that by
Exile
yourself.
is real delve.
You gotta play Arma 3 with us, Bill.
Of course, does PL really play Arma 3? Because that's exactly the game. I
Yeah,
feel
we
like
fucking
play.
do. We have a Zeus and everything.
Yeah, I can see that. That sounds fun though. I might do that sometime.
I can't really, like, I have such a hard time sticking with any game outside of EVE Online, as nerdy
Same.
as that sound.
I
EVE
finally
Online
beat
is like
Cyberpunk,
crack.
and now I have nothing to play. Except
Well, did you actually get to play it, or did you just kind of crash and not be able to get back in? Is the question.
I had no issues with it, but I have a computer that's actually good. So.
I have a serious question for Brisk, actually. How is your Aeon build coming?
Working on it.
And what do you plan to do when John Hartley takes out the Satio?
No. Brisk has an IRL Aeon build.
These guys have been
about
busting my nuts because I've been trying to diversify my hobbies. You see, my boss is a fish enthusiast, so I said if he's going to be a fish enthusiast, I should do something else. So I've been building a ship model. It just happens to look like an Aeon, even though it's not.
They've been building it out of toothpicks or something.
And you
No,
call
it's a
me
plastic model. I'm
boring?
under the stairs.
You're Red
Sniffing
Snapper
glue all
13.
day long.
He's right. I want to say Brisk has posted pictures of this. He is actually under the stairs sniffing glue.
Chris, can you share these photos in Cesspit, please?
He just said
No. They are an OnlyFans.
Oh, that's right. You gotta pay.
Nah.
How much is your OnlyFans a week, Brisk?
Stop.
$5
Stop this right now.
$5 a month?
OnlyFans is not content
We
that we're
get
going to discuss
we get
here.
shower pics every Saturday.
Oh,
Brisk
Lord God.
OnlyFans shower pics every
We're
Saturday,
gonna
and
get
then like
banned
model
for like
pics now.
selling nudes or some shit.
No, model pics on Brisk's OnlyFans.
In chat, Penis says he'll play with me. I'll play with you too.
Who says that?
POE. Penis.
Oh, penis. Nice.
Jesus, I got really confused.
I'll be
It's like,
bluntly
Bill,
honest.
no.
I'm excited that there's still people streaming Star Citizen because I played it for 5 minutes and got bored and quit again.
Ron is still streaming Star Citizen.
So
I'm
Dirk, I
impressed that
just
he's
thought
been
of
being
it.
able to do it for a week. I gotta
I
give him
played
credit
Star
for that.
Citizen, and then I'm like, yeah, I could just go play Eve and spend less money.
I'm just sad that you didn't send him any edible crayons for Christmas.
I'm sad that
I'm
Ron
sad that
playing
you
Star
guys
Citizen,
think that
but
it's
I'm
okay
happy
to talk about other Twitch streamers on a stream.
that
I'm
he's
not
not
being negative about it. We can talk about
accepting
him
me.
if we're being positive. I'm proud of him for his stream of Star Citizen.
Diversifying.
I think it was
He
possible.
got Star Citizen as a gift from someone, and it was his birthday the other week, so that's why he's been playing it.
That's nice.
So Dirk, I just thought of it. It's Red Snapper 13.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh dear
There
God!
you go.
No,
That's it.
go
Your fish
away!
name.
No, fucking Dawn, be beaten.
I'm Prawn Rhea, the Pro Gil legend.
Oh my
Here's
I'm
a
sorry,
real-
what's happening right now?
Apparently you're
Fish alter egos.
I'm doing
You
a
have
search
been
for EVE
right.
Online and OnlyFans, and the 5th search return on Google is Rain at Chocolate Rain, her Twitter account.
That's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
weird. To actually tell Redline what's
Very
going
weird.
on here, Mittens has announced his interest in fish. He's a fish enthusiast now.
We all listen to the fireside. Yes, we
And
know.
so any major-ish player in EVE Online has a fish name now. So Dawn Rhea is now Prawn Rhea. And we have Villy the beta fish, and we have Pro Gil Legend, and all the rest of it. And
This is a fucking riveting conversation.
Sounds dumb as fuck.
yeah,
spent an hour
Dawn has something else that she's just announced.
you
I
guys,
can't even remember right now.
Red Snapper 13.
Very
No.
good. This is kind of funny.
We have Sothra Seal.
I like how we've
Elise
just.
Randolphin.
This is really stupid.
This is a riveting conversation. This is riveting
Okay,
trash.
here's the fucking
Fish
deal,
Talk
gang.
Tuesday. Fish
If
Talk
you don't
Tuesday.
like the conversation that we're having, then get the fuck out of it.
But can't we make fun of it and
That-
be able to
We are having this is Trash Talk Tuesday. We
more
come on and
entertaining
we talk
if we trash
trash.
talk.
Can't we say that
we can do
stuff
whatever
is
we
boring
want.
as
That's the
trash talk?
point.
Oh,
But isn't talking shit about the conversation trash talk?
No,
No,
that doesn't count.
The
Guys,
funny.
Like,
I feel like
want us to say
naming
anything
fish
mean to each
people is
I feel like
nothing
this
but
is
a
a paradox
stupid brain
Talk
Redline is
Tuesday.
creating.
Also,
like
Big Bill, I just saw you're all docked up in UEXO. Just happened to be passing through the neighborhood.
For now.
For now, he says.
So I just
Coming up.
googled fish names that rhyme with Loki, and I got nothing. So it feels bad, man.
We'll
We got
find you
Yellow
something
Knight.
What
sometime.
feels bad that you just Googled that, or
Risk, I
that
got
you don't have
nothing
a
for you.
fish name?
Just the whole
There's
thing.
nothing for
The
me.
whole.
I
the whole
can't
thing.
think of anything that works for you.
I'm not
Oh,
really
Lady
a fish
Scallop.
guy.
Lady Scallop in Star
Oh
I'm
my
not-
god, that's so cute.
I mean, we do like brisk catfish or something like that. Bricks. I don't know.
Oh my god, y'all are all fucking getting bait. Y'all are honeypotted into this. Like, stop.
This is like the first time I'm agreeing with Bill. This is the worst.
It is pretty
These
bad.
fish are cute.
Lady
Also-
Scallop. That's pretty good though.
So have y'all talked about the cores yet?
Guppins
Yeah, we
and
talked about
Yeah,
it
we-
briefly.
You can revisit them if you want, Bill. What do you think about cores?
I thought
Did
there
you,
was going to be like a little bit easier to kill them or something. I didn't. Probably because I
Brisk.
didn't read.
Hold on. I've got this one. Brisk rainbow, like after rainbow trout.
Okay,
If I'm gonna
that's
name
fair
anything
point.
rainbow, it's gonna be me.
Rainbow Trout.
Rainbow
Yeah.
trout.
I just
Rainbow
love
trout. That's pretty
how
good for you, Ray.
I just love how, Dirk and Bill were trying to pull the conversation back around to something that actually matters, and then you guys just
That's
immediately
rude.
Did we
prevented
talk about
any of
code?
it from happening.
I
We didn't
didn't
even talk
even-
about code at all.
No,
We
I
didn't
want to
talk
be
a
very.
single word about code.
Code is the Imperium of Highsec, and they're even more irrelevant.
Whoa! No,
Boom,
you
there's the
cannot
tinfoil.
you cannot call them the Imperium of Highsec. That's
I'm
not
sorry.
okay because
They're
they are
not-
not
James is the king.
affiliated.
Stop it,
Let's
Ray.
do
James
some
is the Mittani.
tinfoil real quick, huh? Let's do some tinfoil real quick.
They
So,
are their
when-
own
When
organization.
goons start making money in high sec as a means to an end, that's their only money making. is in high sec
They get
now.
kicked out of Delve and they go back to high sec.
Suddenly
Code
code starts to disappear.
I'm not gonna say I haven't made friends with the local code in my area, but
honestly, the reason why I don't think we're talking about the code thing is they like failskate and regroup like once a year. It happens every year.
True.
Code are like
So,
the
why
pardon the
talk-
fish allegory, the
They're
literal
the
scum
cockroaches
suckers of high
Udama.
sec.
to the catfish.
They literally just
The carp.
They are the scum suckers of high sec, and
Except for
I
Zanus.
don't mind code.
Except for
think they are
Zanus the
fine and they
Neef.
do what they're supposed to do. I just
Zanus
don't
is a great
care
fellow.
about what happens inside.
Where's
Yeah,
Zanus?
Zanus is streaming right now, isn't it?
Oh, he is
I think so,
streaming.
yeah.
He can't talk about this,
But
right?
he was watching earlier. I hope he goes back and watches the VOD and hears that he is probably the only member of Code that I don't want to can't be violent, can't
I
be
don't think he's gonna make
vulgar.
2 hours and 9 minutes into the VOD to hear it.
Why can't you
He
be
might.
vulgar?
Redhead's trying to
Okay.
come
Well,
up with a way to insult the dude without breaking Twitch.
It's
I
true. I am
rewatch
trying
VODs like crazy, but not everyone will.
Redline's
Most people-
2021 resolution is to be PG rated.
That's not my
watch the
2021 resolution, by
Following
the
I
way.
rewatched the M2 fights, so like
My 2021 resolution has already failed, but that's okay.
to be nice.
3 fleets a week?
Yep, true.
Hey,
Failed it.
get on my
I do
thunder.
three
you-
feet. I do 3 feet a day. Get on my level.
Congratulations, Jeremy. I'm really glad that you're such a good
Jeremy,
FC.
you do
So
3
good.
fleets a week
So
against
good, in
me.
fact, that you starburst Cerberus fleets when Cerberuses are fast enough where they don't need to be starbursted.
That was
Weren't
Billy's
you
fault.
saying
That was
this
Billy's
was
fault.
your
It wasn't my
first
fault.
fleet?
It was not my fault.
Jeremy,
I
you
literally
said this
made-
was your first fleet, so you can't say you FC 3 fleets a day.
No,
if this was your first one
my
this
first
week.
Serb
What-
fleet.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, okay.
You
When
What?
the
can.
fuck did Jeremy join Test?
I've been in test for
when,
like
when Brave got poached
2
again,
months.
shocker.
Oh, is that when you guys when you and Sandra? I guess you went left.
Yeah,
with
I'm in
Sandra
Sandrin's
then?
Corp. Yeah, I'm with
Oh.
Sandrin.
Well, that sucks.
They all ditched and joined
It's
Test, and
just-
now Jeremy is working his way up in.
But I-
So
I-
who does
I
Brave
like
have
Brave.
left now? If you guys
Shattered
don't know?
Armor
Oh my
is
gosh,
their
is
best
that it?
escape.
Shattered.
Is he the only one?
And that's
the
it.
only one left.
Barry Foldar.
And then you
Barry's
guys,
not necessary, but he's an awesome person.
So Jeremy, do you understand the irony though, right? In like the fact that you and your corp moved to Test or however the fuck that happened. I don't care about the intricacies of that, right? And now you're bitching that Brave don't have people to defend them and they're weak and they have to move back and everything's horrible and blah blah blah. Like, do you understand how that whole thing, like
It's
your
their
part,
fault. It's not
your
my
part
fault.
in this whole fucking thing? No, but do you
Listen,
understand?
I just do what my
your
friends
part-
do. I got peer. I just do what my friends do. I don't care about politics, man.
You got peer pressured into joining
your
Billy.
friends abandoned your friends abandoned Brave,
We
and
didn't
you
abandon
went
Brave.
with
We-
your
we
friends
literally-
to
we literally
abandon
just
Brave,
gained a fleet to go help
and now
them.
you're you talk to help Brave.
Yes, I do
rather than
talk.
actually be
We're
in
literally
Brave
on a fleet right
and
now helping Brave. Like this is just some
helping
more
Brave.
spin.
Didn't you help them more if you didn't leave?
Hey, you know
How
what?
could you
I don't know.
rebuild
I
their
don't care.
military if you didn't
probably-
leave potentially?
Jeremy,
I think
quick
you should go
shout.
back.
You're not
totally go
winning
back.
this engagement currently.
I'm not. Listen, I don't care. I have no interest in these politics.
You
I'm
don't
just
care
doing what I
about Brave. You don't care about Test. You just care about where you're flying.
Oh, yeah, I
so
just care about
why
my
are you
friends.
not gonna like disappear from Test at some point?
Well, because I like my friends. Like
You like
just
your
wanna fuck my
friends. You don't like Test.
I like Test. I'm not saying I don't like Test.
but
You don't like Brave either.
So
you
Brave,
don't like
Brave are not
either.
your friends then.
No, I like Diva, who are my friends in the corporate. Like, I don't get why this is such a big issue to everyone. I don't. like, I'm not
Okay,
in
so
politics.
you're
Can you
not
guys
with.
please stop assailing Jeremy?
No,
Thank you.
I
Hey,
just
dude,
want to
no,
play a game with my
he's not
friends.
like Test.
spinning
I
this out of
literally just want
control.
to play a game with my
I
friends.
re-listened to you be mean to Brisk and Bill for an hour over war bonds a month and a half ago.
I didn't.
We
do
weren't
that.
being
Jeremy,
mean
he's
to
not
Brisk
Test.
and
Dawn, I
Bill.
feel like
and
that's
his
your
Brave.
favorite
His
episode of all
guys.
time.
His guys could go to war.
Jeremy internet bullies me with his fleets, and it's just me and an iHub, and then there's Jeremy and 30 fucking interceptors. So
Yeah,
this
it's
guy
me,
gets
and
no
it's
pass.
you just warping one gnosis at a time, and I just go, okay,
Also,
10 kilometers.
Bill does that
why
shit.
have
So
friends when you can have AMOC, which is recruiting, the best course.
I'm blacklisted from AMOC. I can't join. Sorry.
AMOC is not recruiting. We don't acknowledge AMOC.
Hey, Mock is recruiting the best quarterback.
We just killed a whole bunch of AMOC
Jeremy, if
not
you're
too long ago. It
blacklisted
was fun.
from the Imperium, or the Goons, just join in it. That's what we
I
recruit off the
I thought about
blacklist.
joining after Horde. I thought about joining in it, but I told you this. I couldn't. I literally could not find the way a link to join an Init corporation.
I
so
have no
gave
idea
up.
how to do it either. So everybody asked me, I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't either.
I would have joined Initiative. I literally just could not figure out how to do so.
Yeah, you gotta have a Titan, and unfortunately,
No. There's a point there. No. There's a point there. He doesn't care about.
He does have one, right? It's just logged off.
No. Brisk. He doesn't care about his test friends. He doesn't care about his legacy friends in Brave or whatever. He cares about his court mates. But if he could have joined in it, he would have joined in it. He just didn't know how to join it. This guy doesn't give a shit about anything but.
I don't care about space politics. I just want to have fun in a video game. Like that's a horrible assailant to you, I guess. Like I just thought, you know what? I was in Horde. I'm gonna try the other side now.
No, it's not horrible.
Next time you all start talking shit to me and Local, I'm gonna say I'm just trying to have fun in my video game, and you guys need to fucking back off, okay?
Bill, you know what? It's not a horrible assailant to me. Like finding a group of guys that you really enjoy flying with and want to support. That's cool. I really appreciate that. That's what I have in Fleet. Like all the guys in Fleet, they're all good dudes.
Leave Blurkus alone, Brisk.
I love a
Blurkus
good.
alone.
I mean, I'm just saying,
guys. Wink.
The guy saying that we wouldn't let Jeremy FC in it. I mean, we let Blurkus FC. So I think he's okay.
Maybe one day in the distant future, when Test and Init are blue, maybe I'll do that.
Are there bitter vets in Brave? Is that real?
I don't know. Brave is pretty cool. I like Brave. I mean, I don't. People say I don't like my friends at Brave. Like I have friends at Brave. I have friends in Test. I love Test.
I will say I was rather surprised at how
Justice Nero
salty Dunk's State of the Alliance was the other day. That was not a Dunk Dinkle kind of thing.
I didn't listen to it. What happened? Pray tell.
Well, I mean, he was talking about. Well, first of all, he made a Rocky 3 reference, and I am of the firm opinion that there was no Rocky 3. Rocky went straight from Rocky 1 to Rocky 4. There were no movies in between there. So I didn't know what he was referring to. And then he was talking about, oh, fuck Init, fuck Simple Farmers, go out there, kill them all. They're invading our space. It was a very Matani
aggressive
speech. I was very impressed with him. It was not Dunk like at all. There was no happy bees and drinking. It was like, I want to bathe in the blood of my enemies. I was very impressed.
I don't think people realize attacking the Imperium, going after the Imperium, it pulls out the worst in people, and it just really sets them on a course to self-destruct. Really gotta watch it.
It could be the toxicity of the Imperium membership pointed at the leadership of alliances turns it into perhaps a little more of a toxic environment than people are used to.
Possibly be true.
Toxicity.
Toxicity in my Imperium?
Are you actually going to try to make the assertion that there has not been an insane amount of toxic attitudes, let's say, pointed towards myself and Dunk and some others?
I feel like you're all just talking trash about this show.
That's never
And you can just say the show's toxic. That's all you got to say. You don't got to mask it.
No, it's other shows, not this.
The show's pretty toxic.
Oh.
I'm not even talking specifically about the shows, although there's a certain show or two that are certainly quite heavy on that. But from the Reddit threads to the Discords to all over the place, the level of
let me be clear here.
What I'm trying to think of the right word, virulence,
this is
something I've never seen before. Honestly.
I was flying X-wings the other day, and I got
maliciousness. Actually, is probably the best word.
And someone emailed me. We just talked about X-wings for 20 minutes. It's a pretty cool dude from the Imperium. It's not like every dude in the Imperium is a super toxic, just like every dude in Test or in Brave or whatever is like a paragon of virtue. It just seems to be that Imperium has a problem where how leadership walks and how leadership talks. And I'm not saying anyone in particular in this chat, not you, Brisk, or anything like that. No, that was
I
very
got you
underhanded.
point out Bridge.
All I have to say is I understand what Billy's saying, but I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen
I
any
just want
any
to say,
toxicity ever.
yeah, I just want to say, you want
Wheels
to
on the bus go round and round.
whoever was just talking, I didn't catch
Never
who it
happened.
was, but they need to finish their point, and then we need to be able to respond, because holy shit, the idea that being
Just
toxic
respond,
and
dude.
harmfully is acceptable is.
So
I don't understand how
let
people
me ask
say
you the
that about
question, Dark.
Goonform, which is a
Does
good
not was
family
not
Christian
Goonswarm
oriented value.
founded on the principle
Bill,
that is
no.
written within the holy tome of the histories of the Empire of Eve Online that we do not want to ruin the game. We want to ruin your game.
That's
Is
not
this
our
true?
motto.
That's an old thing from some other Goonswarm
That's
with
like a boomer
other
book, dude. You guys are
leadership.
something recent.
Okay, but
It's
the
just,
Matani with the wizard hat at
Don't
FanFest.
bring up the wizard
Hi,
hat.
the
That's
Matani
Also,
stupid.
with the
boomer
tat
history.
that
You
he's
have to have something
apologized
current.
for.
Okay, so
Yeah,
first of
don't
all,
He's
bring it up.
apologized
You
If
were
it's
in
before
diapers when this stuff
2016, it doesn't count.
Yeah,
The
It's a very
Matani telling us
direct
to eat his
attack
ass.
on PGL and Villy in meta shows. Very toxic, very
Oh,
direct,
that has
very
never happened.
directed.
That has never
and
happened one time.
uh-huh.
You take that back.
Last week's show?
That's defamation.
last week's show where
Brisk, as
That
much as
never
I know,
happened.
Brisk, as much as I know you like to redirect with sarcasm, I think at some point you should take some responsibility for
what? For
the stuff you
putting
guys
on the
push.
best possible show that everybody likes to watch and laughs about.
Yes,
So
I
so
take
let
full
me put.
It's
Whoa,
their
whoa,
version
Brave.
of fun. It's their version of fun. We've heard this.
Yeah,
We're
It's
just having
everyone's
fun. We're
version
just having
of fun.
We're a bunch of toxic dickheads, and we're having fun because that's what we do. And that's
It's
really
kinda-
what it boils down to.
It's kind of the foundation of this fucking show, I think,
Not
to some
this show.
degree.
being toxic.
I mean, well, no, just trash talking,
Well, there's a
spinning,
difference
fucking
between being like
having
toxic,
fun.
like
But we're having fun with
Right?
it. We're having
I
fun
mean,
with it.
that's the thing, isn't it fun? Aren't you having fun?
I'm
yeah,
here to
but there's a difference
motivate.
between like
I'm here to
being
help you be a
toxic
better
and
self of yourself.
and like I can't tell you
Well,
like
I
every
would
time I get
say
insulted by
that
someone in Twitch chat from the
the
Imperium, I just save it.
the biggest difference between shows like this one and other shows is that on this show, the people that get the shit talked to them have the chance to come on and defend themselves, as it were. Whereas other shows just, drop something and run away, shy away from the spotlight so that nobody can try to question anything that they say, which I think is a really big difference between this show and other shows. That's what makes this show so great. That's why it's the
So
third best
call
talk show
in.
related to Eve
On
Online that
Tuesday night?
broadcasts
No
Tuesday at
offense,
9 p.m. Eastern
Frontline,
Time,
but
0 to Eve.
But call in between Brisk and Jeremy and Villy and whoever else. Like, call the time rather than just say, "Hey, these people can chat whatever they want."
What?
What? What did you just say?
He doesn't make any sense.
I think.
So
I think we
you're
lost.
gonna have to.
That was
I
a
think you're
George
gonna have
W.
to say
Bushism.
that again with different words because nobody understood what that was.
Maybe he was talking about allotting time for each individual, so that way they can get their point across.
Is that
Yes.
correct?
He wants us to take our time to talk like this.
If they trusted me to have enemies on my show more often, I would totally let more people.
If they
Why wouldn't they
trusted you.
trusted you? Like,
Because
I
I'm
mean, it could
really
be like
bad at
actual, like
debating
real
people.
life debates. We get
Wait,
2
I thought it
minutes.
was
You
your
can't make an
show.
actual point. And it's just for sound bites. But you know,
I'm really bad at debating people.
So
like,
myself and ProGod went on Theta Thursday,
it was
one of
fine.
their very first episodes, and it humanized us a little too much. So after that, we were banned from going on any of the Imperium shows.
Yes, we mustn't.
Come on, buddy,
We
huh?
mustn't humanize the enemy.
I'm not aware of you guys being banned. We just haven't invited you. You were on Philly. You were on Meta Show.
There
for
are
like 3
multiple
weeks in
people
a
that
row.
have specifically told me that run Imperium shows that I am not allowed on those shows, and that
I
there'll be
run an
repercussions.
Imperium show, and if I ask you on the show, you're on the show.
Villy, do you want me to start?
Can I
a show?
be on the
when are you gonna
show?
be on the
We can
show?
call it
I
Billy
have no
and
reason to
Billy
invite you on
getting
the
a
show.
little silly.
See,
I
can we just talk about? Well, this is kind of an adjacent topic, but essentially, like, why
adjacent.
does there need to be so much moral uprightness in the Eve universe? Like, Eve is a tribalism machine. Tribalism breeds these special interests, fucking toxic, quote unquote, like circle jerks, and to some degree dehumanizing the other side because it's a war. And there are consequences to losing. There are consequences to winning. Like, why does everyone have to be so butthurt? Now, I do understand that I'm not being personally attacked in them, and so I can see how like people were being personally attacked by the tribalism machine would take that very poorly, right? Obviously, but at the end of the day, like I mean, I don't know, dude.
Dreadbomb's pretty toxic, so I
Red
don't expect you to
line, are you
understand.
Can I have a moment of uninterrupted
Loki.
response?
I think I'm the most toxic
As
member of
the
Dreadbomb.
shit post
Honestly,
extraordinaire of the group.
pretty
No,
close to the
no,
most
you
toxic member of
can't have
Dreadbomb.
any uninterrupted
So
time.
thank you, I appreciate that.
Technical aid.
So
Nope,
no, I
none
was
of
just gonna
that, Bill.
say, I
Nope,
was just gonna
zero,
say that there is hey pal, I'm
zero,
talking,
bud.
I'm talking.
Zero, zero, zero,
Don't worry, I'll wait.
0.
0.0.
It means 0.
No, but it's like, am I just asking a stupid question? Like, I don't
Alright,
know.
go
Like,
ahead,
I can
Bill.
see
I
why.
don't think you're
Oh,
asking a
Eve
stupid
is supposed
question
to
at
be
all.
meant
I
to be
think,
hard.
frankly, we're all here having fun. This is supposed to be. If it's not fun, then you're doing it wrong. And yes, I know it may not be fun for you if you are the target of people's jokes, but that's why you have to learn to laugh at them when they're funny and not get upset about it. Because you know what happens when you get upset at jokes?
They
that are
get
at your
turned into
expense?
mine one mixes.
You get more of them. Exactly. So the more salty that you get and upset that you get when folks are teasing you, the worse it is. That's why when folks were calling me Baghdad Brisk and saying all kinds of stuff, I turned it into a joke and now it's funny. I laugh at myself. You should be able to do that.
And when people told me that my parents didn't love me, I said, hey, you know what? You're right, but I don't care. I'm Bill. You know.
What the fuck, Bill?
That's exactly right.
Now
Laugh
you
at
can.
me
Line.
all the time.
3 fleets a week, bud.
Now the fact that we
Can do
use
it, bro.
Reddit as a propaganda kind of centerpiece and general Eve outlet is problematic. I can see that,
Well,
right?
it's
Reddit's kind of
the
the
public.
asshole of the fucking internet.
It's the public corkboard where people just like there's a few good posts, and then there's just people who just take a dump in a bucket and throw it on the corkboard.
You know
and
how you avoid
troll
all
it.
that? You just simply stop
Go to
using
MySpace.
Reddit. What a
Yeah,
fucking
honestly,
revelation.
just
I never
don't
see that
read-
toxic
it's-
bullshit because I don't
listen,
use Reddit.
Reddit
don't
is
read it.
not
Get the
hard to
news,
figure out. All you got to do is be funny. If you're funny, you'll get away with anything you want on Reddit. When you get all super serious and you get all salty and you start complaining and everything, that's when you're going to get downvoted into oblivion. If you're just,
I don't
if
know,
you just have
dude.
fun
I
with it,
just
Well,
Feels so
Valk
I
was
don't
pretty
use
funny,
it.
but he got banned on Reddit, so I don't know.
who?
You're gonna have people
Valk.
on both sides of the ball
Valk?
that are going to you're gonna have people on both sides of the ball that are going to like run across the thin red line where a lot of people know where that line is, but
I want to see your
others
manager.
don't. You just have to like
You're
accept
not
the
allowed to
fact
say that
there's
on stream,
You
by the
can't say
way.
parent line now.
Stop it.
Should
God
we say
damn it.
PogChamp? Say PogChamp?
No! Oh, no, a
Hard.
symbol of the resistance. No.
Just laugh. If you laugh, everything is fine.
But if I laugh, then I'm a part of the
Always
meme, a
look
part of the crew. I don't
That
want to be a
makes
part
you
of the
part
meme.
of the crew. You should be
you're,
happy.
you're not part of the meme.
part
You
of the
are the
Pog,
meme.
a part of the
Finally,
Urs.
you're
He
part of
lives
it.
the meme. He is the one with the meme.
You're all that is meme, Redline.
He's the chosen one.
What's supposed to bring balance to the talk show's red line?
Meme line.
Red line has the
The-
high ground.
I watched
moral
the
high
last
ground.
night, actually. I've been watching the Star Wars movies in order, one a day for the past few days because I've been homesick
So-
from work.
You've watched
So
three
all
good
6 of them?
movies.
All 6 of them? What the first? Listen, the prequels compared to the new ones
been
are
home
like
for 3
God's
days.
gift to this
Well,
legacy.
I shut it on Sunday, so I watched the first one on Sunday, the second one yesterday, I didn't watch one today. Oops.
I'm so fucking excited about the Jar Jar Binks show they're coming out with on Disney.
All right.
Yes.
Well, anyways,
Did y'all see that Lucasfilms is getting the Star Wars game rights
Are
back
we ending
because
the
EA
show
messed
now?
up so bad?
I think
Yeah.
what we're gonna do is we're not gonna do like a real end of the show. I'm just gonna put a mark on the stream that says, "Hey, this is the end of the show." That way, when I put it on the podcast and the YouTube later. By the way, I did update everything on the podcast. I also updated everything on the YouTube channel. So if you join the Discord for the New Eden Post, you can see all of that stuff when it gets posted, which should be tomorrow. So I'm going to put a marker here, and if you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, this is where the show ends for you. For everybody
This
else
is a
that's
soft
watching
end, right?
live,
Should wish it live.
Don't
it's
we get to
gonna.
say final words before you
This is
end
a
it?
soft end because you like
Uh,
soft ends, Redline.
I do like soft ends. The softest ends are my favorite.
I
But
like burnt
if you
tips
want
on
to watch
ribeye.
the rest of the show, make sure you tune in Tuesdays at 0200 Eve or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Twitch.